Super Bowl I, 1967, the most historic Chiefs-Packers game. Max McGee and Green Bay dominated on that day. The '89 Packers are the NFL's new cardiac kids. Chris Jackie's last-second field goal last week is typical. 5 times Green Bay's won in the last minute. So there are no more false warnings. The Pack is indeed back. Lindy Infante has made the Packers winners in less than 2 seasons on the job. He's done it by putting his high-powered passing attack in the hands of the man they call Magic, Don Majkowski. And Majkowski has put the ball in the hands of an outstanding receiver, Sterling Sharp. They are becoming the NFL's most lethal combination with 77 connections on the season. And when Green Bay's needed magic on defense, Tim Harris is the man. He leads the NFL with 16.5 quarterback sacks. But look out, here come the Chiefs. Marty Schottenheimer has them believing they can make a wild card bid, with Christian Okoye leading the way with a powerful running attack. And the Chiefs have been playing playoff defense all year long, led by Derek Thomas. 2 red-hot teams in ice-cold Green Bay today.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers.
Welcome to sold-out Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the Packers' final regular season home game. The temperature, you see it, the wind chill factor is at 0 right now and will dip throughout the afternoon. Yes, we're at our warmest right now. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Donovan, along with Jimmy Cefalo. The Packers and Chiefs are red hot. Green Bay's won 3 in a row. The Chiefs are unbeaten in their last 3, but to keep playoff hopes alive, they can't slip. They have to keep on winning. They can't slip on the field either. Cold weather. What about the turf today?
Well, slip is the right word to use today. I just walked around the field a few moments ago. Around the perimeter, it is absolutely frozen solid. The field was covered till about 7 a.m. this morning. It's in fairly good shape, but as you mentioned, the temperature will continue to drop this afternoon, and that may cause a problem. As the day goes along, if the field does freeze, the players will change spikes from a smaller version, such as the one at the top, to a larger version to try to dig into this field here at Lambeau Field. Now, if it does get frozen, I think it will benefit the Kansas City Chiefs, because with a fullback like Christian Okoye, he's 260 pounds. He can move a pile despite the field conditions.
Let's talk quarterbacks right now. Let's talk Magic, and let's talk Don Majkowski. Now, when you're bringing your team back the way he has week after week, you really have a touch, Jimmy.
Yeah, the important thing with a quarterback is the intangibles. He doesn't have the greatest arm in the world. He has a great offense to play with, though, and Sterling Sharp running the patterns underneath. He scrambles a great deal. He has that intangible that's made this team a contender.
They really believe in him. Kansas City, on their side, Steve DeBerg has been in, he's been out, now he's in, and he's really got their passing game going.
And what he does best is he uses the play-action fake. He's the best in football at handling it. And with a fullback like Koya, DeBerg has pulled the ball out of his belly, thrown it downfield to Stephon Page, and that has made this team a real contender going down the stretch.
So here we go, week number 14. The Packers 8-5, the Chiefs 6-1. Now remember, Lindy Infante and Marty Schottenheimer worked together, actually with the Giants, but more importantly in Cleveland, where Lindy was Marty's offensive coordinator. So Lindy said about going against Marty, it would be like mental gymnastics. Marty said this will be a classic chess match. They know so much about each other's philosophy.
Well, you can tell they've been good friends for a long time because the terminology is slightly different, but they had the same thought process. They did not speak this week. Normally they talk once in a while, but this week they stayed away from each other. Their wives, however, are very close friends. And Mrs. Schottenheimer was invited to sit in the booth during the game with Mrs. Infante. She declined. She said, I don't think it'd be a very good idea.
Back deep for the Packers as they will receive Brent Fullwood is 21. Heath Woodside is 46. He's the rookie from Ohio State. And from Green Bay, here we go as Nick Lowry is into the football. Fullwood takes it at his own 1. Here comes the Packers. And he brings it out over the 20 to the 24-yard line, where he's brought down on the play by Lloyd Burris. And so the Packers, with their high, potent passing offense, here's the way they line up. It's important for this offensive line to block for Majkowski. They need to give him time. Moran Campen gets the start at center as he's in there for the injured Blair Bush. Now, in the offensive backfield, Majkowski with Woodside and Fullwood. Kemp, Sterling Sharp, and Gideon is the tight end. In the scatter offense, on third down situations, you could see the Packers go to 5 wide receivers. If that's what happens, those are the receivers that come in. So it's 1st and 10 as we take a look at Don Majkowski from his own 24-yard line. Play action fake. And he completes it to Fullwood. Up to the 33-yard line. Close to a first down. It'll be short by about a yard. The tackle made by Dino Hackett. And right away, Chris Martin was in there and almost got a shot at Majkowski. As we check the Kansas City starting front seven, Smith, Saliamua recovered 2 fumbles against the Dolphins last week. The linebackers, Martin, Walker Lee Ashley, Hackett, and Derek Thomas with 10 sacks. And the Chiefs, 41 when they go into their passing situation, and they have to defend against that. Mike Bell and Lewis Cooper and Burris and Copeland come in, and a great secondary, Lewis, Ross, Porter, and Cherry. Kansas City defending, second down and 1 to Fullwood, and he gets stacked up by the left side of that Chiefs defensive front. Kansas City is rugged to run against anyway, and last week Green Bay did not run well against Tampa Bay. They only rushed for about 68 yards total in that game.
Yeah, it was their worst outing of the year as far as running the football was concerned, and that really slowed down their passing game. They open up the offense, they spread everybody across the field, but it's contingent upon Fullwood being able to run well with the ball.
They had to get to the 34, and we'll have our first measurement of the day. Our referee today is Jim Tunney, and he'll inspect this, tell us if the Packers got it. By the nose of the football, first down Green Bay. Lindy and Fonte checking the system. Jimmy, the offense, describe it for us. It really stretches you out.
That's exactly what they do. They take the wide receivers and the running backs, they spread them all over the field. They force the defense to spread with them, and that in turn opens up a running game underneath. Majkowski likes the short passes. All the receivers have quick options underneath, and they use them almost as an extended running attack. He'll throw about 60% of the time.
Look at that, 3,719 yards with 3 regular season games remaining. Sharp is at the bottom of your screen. Up at the top is Harry Kemp. They go to Fullwood. He runs into the arms of Derek Thomas as he goes over the 35 out to the 36-yard line. So they are trying to run left and run right at Derek Thomas.
Well, they like to run left behind Rutgers and Moran. Now, take a look at it. That's Derek Thomas. Not only number 58, not only does he play the pass well, but look at him. He takes on the blocker, throws him away. He's going against the veteran John Spagnuolo, number 89. He's the one that clogged it up and stopped the running attack of the Pack.
Now, even though they throw the ball so much, Fullwood's having a good year. Came into this season, as you saw, with over 700 rushing yards. And we now have second down and 7 as he picked up 3 on that first down run. 3 wide receivers in the game right now, 5 defensive backs for Kansas City. The ball at the Green Bay 37-yard line. All kinds of movement. Majkowski dumps it out of the backfield. Fullwood's got it. Flag down at the 40-yard line. Chris Martin makes the tackle. Now we had movement by the Chiefs, and we also had Dan Weingrad at right tackle 73. Might have pulled out early. Let's check the call from Jim Tunney. It's against the Chiefs, offside. Marty Schottenheimer looking on. I think he's saying, hey, 73 Weingrad really moved quickly.
He wants to get on the officials early. A good coach will do that. They'll start working the officials early in hopes of getting a call that's a close one later on.
Instead of second down at 7 now, it'll be second down at 2.
Let's take a look at the movement. You mentioned the Weingrad with a little jump, but they look pretty strong across the line. On the back end, you can see Weingrad moving. But on this side, it was Thomas who lurched across, and that's what the officials saw.
Second down and 2 now at the 42-yard line. Jeff Query is into the lineup, rookie wide receiver out of Millikan University. 3 wide receivers in the game right now for the Packers. They go back to Fullwood as they're showing run a lot. And off the right side this time, he gets up to the 45-yard line. Good block on the right side of that Packer offensive line. Another first down for Green Bay as they come out running the ball. And why not on second and 2?
Well, anytime you want to go against Kansas City, you want to try to establish the run because their secondary is the best in football today. So if you try to run, you run early against them, try to get them to commit to the running attack and then throw the ball downfield. Lindy Infante knows Marty Schottenheimer's mind better than anyone, and that's what he's trying to accomplish.
There it is. Infante and Schottenheimer, when they were together in Cleveland, they went to the AFC Championship game twice and came within seconds and just a couple of yards both times of going to the Super Bowl but missed. Fullwood, reverse, Sterling Sharp, and it's wide open. Inside the 30. To the 29-yard line of Kansas City, and the lead blocker was the quarterback, Majkowski.
He did a good job of it, too. Here's the way it worked. They moved him down the line. That was the reverse. They moved everybody this way. They got the flow of the secondary, and that's how he got around the corner and did well with it. Take a look at it. Everybody pulling to the left side. The good movement. They got the entire secondary, the linebacking crew running toward the left, and back around comes Sharp with a good block in front by Majkowski. He said he was a linebacker playing quarterback. He makes 2 blocks. One on the front man, the second on Cherry.
26-yard gain. Majkowski asked the crowd to quiet down a bit. In motion comes Perry Kemp. First down, Green Bay. Out of the backfield, Sharp has it. He makes the catch. He goes out of bounds at the Kansas City 24-yard line, so they nibble off a little bit there. Sharp's first catch of the game, his 78th of the year. Sharp started out that play in the backfield.
Right, that's what they're trying to do. Their idea is try to create the mismatch. Move Sterling Sharp around so the secondary cannot key on him. Take a look at him in the backfield. Right part of your screen, number 84, that's Sterling Sharp. And that surprises the secondary of the Chiefs. They leave him man-on-man, and no one gets a hold of him. When you're trying to get a linebacker going against Sharp, you got a mismatch.
Second down and 5. Tony Mandrich is in the lineup right now at right tackle. That's Woodside in motion. Majkowski faked it to Sharp, threw it to Woodside, and the pass was low. Deron Cherry was over there for the Kansas City Chiefs, but he kind of pump faked. Looked like he wanted to go to Sharp initially.
He'll look for Sharp on nearly every play, but it was a smart play by Majkowski. Nobody was open. He had great protection and threw the safe pass.
It is now third down and 5. We have 11:16 left to go here in the first quarter. The drive started off the opening kickoff at the 24-yard line of Green Bay. They have moved up the field. The big play was a reverse to Sterling Sharp, and Sharp took it for 26 yards. And now it's third and 5 at the 24-yard line of Kansas City. 5 wide receivers in the game. It's the scatter offense in there for the Packers. Herman Fontenot in the backfield with Majkowski. And a great blitz from the outside by Albert Lewis, and he knocks Majkowski down. The Chiefs bench saying that he was in the grasp and he should be down, but they rule it an incomplete pass. So Albert Lewis, number 29, came in there blowing through after Majkowski.
Take a look at it. See Lewis coming from the inside. They wound up paying so much attention to number 58, Thomas, that they had no position to try and take care of the gapping Albert Lewis coming right in between. You saw Rutgers, number 75, trying to make a last-ditch effort. Well conceived by Marty Schottenheimer.
Now, Jimmy, they are going to rule that Majkowski was in the grasp of Lewis, and they marked the ball back at the Kansas City 36.
And I think it's a good call. Last week, if you remember watching the tape as we did, Majkowski got away with a few, doing the same thing, trying to get rid of it against the Bucs. He didn't get called for grounding. In this case, however, he does get called for being in the grasp.
Don Bracken had a rough week last week, punting down at Tampa Bay. He'll try and knock it out inside the 20. He's put 15 out inside the 20 this year. And Manley is back deep. Pete Manley back deep for Kansas City at the 10-yard line. Waiting for the snap as they line it up at the 36. Fourth down. Into the end zone. And hit at the 3-yard line. Looked like it might dig into that soft turf. But Kansas City makes a nice defensive stand, and Marty's Chiefs get the ball back. No score from Lambeau Field. We'll be right back.
It began in Philadelphia. It rolled across America.
Welcome back to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cefalo. Kansas City gets the ball at the 20. This is a good offensive line. Anytime you have a back like Okoye getting that kind of yardage, all Baldinger, Webster, Lutz, and Eatman are doing some things right, aren't they? DeBerg with Okoye and Hurd. Page has been outstanding the last couple of weeks. Manley and the tight end is Jonathan Hayes. Passing situations. Here's what the Chiefs do. They'll bring in a rookie wide receiving running back, Todd McNair, and Emil Harry and Clarence Weathers check in. But it's Okoye in the backfield with DeBerg, who has been rejuvenated these last few weeks. From the 20. And Okoye gets wrapped up in the backfield and spins off a Robert Brown tackle to get about a half yard over the 20-yard line, but it easily could have been about a 3-yard loss. Packer defense, let's set it for you. Very, very exuberant defense. Winner Nelson Brown. Anderson back in the lineup after missing last week. Tim Harris has 16.5 sacks, leading the NFL. In the dime, here's what happens. Those people come out. Pitts and Tiger Green come in, and their secondary, Dave Brown, is 36 years old and has 5 interceptions. Watch for him, number 32. 10:24 left. First quarter, no score. Second down and 9 for Kansas City at their own 21. Timeout, Kansas City. As DeBerg couldn't get the play called, he didn't know what to audible into.
Well, the reason they did that is because they have to be aware of where Tim Harris is on every single play. He was moving along the front line, wound up on the end position. They did not like the mismatch they had. It would have been Harris having to be blocked by a back, and that's the reason for it. He's at the end of the line. The Chiefs were in an offense where a back would have had to come out and block him one-on-one. And as DeBerg told us yesterday, he's going to change the play at the line of scrimmage, or he's going to call a timeout whenever he gets that mismatch with Harris.
So what does that do to you right now? Is that a victory for the defense? I mean, they forced you to use a timeout here early in the first quarter.
Oh, they were thrilled. Harris was cheering as soon as the timeout was called. So was the defensive front. But what they'll do, the Chiefs, as soon as they come out of the huddle, Mike Webster, the center, and DeBerg, the quarterback, will look where Harris is and identify him so everybody on the field knows where they have to set up the double team to block him.
Now let's talk about Harris. He injured his ankle last week down at Tampa Bay, defending against a touchdown run by Sylvester Stamps, and hasn't worked out all week. Did start working out on Thursday. Told us yesterday, there's no way I'm going to miss any games the rest of the road here.
Yeah, we waited for him for quite a while. He was in the training room getting iced down and very vigilant about trying to get ready for this contest. He looks like he's fine in the first few plays of this game.
DeBerg looking like a traffic cop there right now. Second down and 9 after the timeout. First pass. And it is caught. Stephon Page, and he tries to run out of a tackle and should have a Kansas City first down, and does. Tiger Green made the tackle, and Page was high-stepping his way trying to get out of the tackle. If he did, he would have got extra yardage.
Well, it was awfully good protection by the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's take a look at it if we can on the telestrator. I think this is Page right here. Comes down and turns around, having to get to this marker. Now watch the protection as well. A good play by both Stephon Page and by DeBerg. Good protection inside. He got to the yard marker and then had enough presence of mind to get upfield and for the first down.
First down, DeBerg going deep for Page. And Mark Lee almost picked off the ball, and they're going to get Page for interference as he grabbed Lee. Pass interference going to be called on Stephon Page. Here it is.
No question about it. It's actually a good play by Page. He knows the interception is about to take place. He reaches out and makes the tackle. I mean,
that's role reversal, isn't it? He became a defensive
exactly
back.
Right. That's exactly what happens. He makes a good move trying to deflect the ball away from Tiger Green. He'll take the penalty, line up again on second down, and try to make something happen. Nothing wrong with that by Page.
So there you hear Jim Tunney, Marty Schottenheimer looking on. He wanted to go big to Page. In the last couple of weeks, Stephon Page, for instance, last week, had 7 catches for 133 yards and 1 touchdown. First down and 20 after the penalty. 9:33 left here in the first quarter. Page starts down the line in motion. Koya. Ryan Noble is in to tackle him, and he's trying to strip the ball away from him, too. And you'll see a lot of that on a cold day like this with the hands numbing up. Noble, 91, on the tackle. And each one of these Packers really gets this crowd going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Take a look at him. 91, left part of your screen, taking on the guard in front. The pull comes up. He slides down, scrapes the line of scrimmage, and makes the initial hit on Okoye before he can get past the line of scrimmage. That's the key to getting to Okoye. If he gets any speed up at all, he can really move a pile.
He got 1 yard, make it second down and 19. Page coming into the lineup right now to wide receiver spot. 6 defensive backs in there for Green Bay. DeBerg back. Nice catch by his tight end, Jonathan Hayes, who hangs on, and is brought down by Ron Pitts out over the 30-yard line to the 33. Good play by Hayes as he makes the catch waist level and then pulls it in.
And Hayes, that was just his 10th catch of the year. This is not an offense that uses the tight end a great deal. If you asked DeBerg about it, as we did yesterday, he said, look, the man I look for on nearly every play when I have to throw it downfield is Stephon Page. He's his favorite receiver.
All right, let's watch Harris right now. This is his down, 3rd down and 8. 16.5 sacks, leading the NFL.
The key is where is he lining up? That's what DeBerg and Westbrook are looking at right now. See him moving around?
Yeah.
They're all pointing to him. They're all pointing to one man.
Page has got it, fumbles the football, and they rule it an incomplete pass. It is picked up by Mark Murphy, who takes it down the field just in case, but the official was right there to say that Page never had control.
I don't know about this one. It looked like he might have had it for a step or two. Let's find out. The crossing pattern, they clear out with the wide receiver on the end. There he is. He takes 2 steps with the football.
I think he was juggling it.
Well, from this angle, from this side of the field, it looked like he had the football. Now, if the official on the other side said that he bobbled it, then he must have, because, again, the only way that call can be changed is if there is indisputable evidence from the replay.
Kelly Goodburn is into punt now for Kansas City. Incidentally, on that play, you saw 91 Brian Noble coming on a rare Green Bay blitz. They didn't blitz that much last week.
No, they don't blitz much at all. Hank Bullock, the defensive coordinator, is a guy who likes to sit everybody back in coverage and force a quarterback to throw around it.
Here's Jeff Query, a rookie out of Milliken, wide receiver and punt returner at the 25-yard line.
Here's a look at Page again. Maybe from this angle we can tell whether or not he's bobbling the football. Yeah, from that side it is. See, that is the definitive replay, and a good call by the officials on the field.
So they're looking at that right now, and that should tell you that he never had possession of the football. And the official on that side, over by the Kansas City bench, who was really looking right into Page's belly right there after the catch, right away went with the incomplete side.
Right, because from behind Page, you couldn't tell that he was bobbling the football at all.
The play stands. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
Bill Fetty checked the instant replay. He's our instant replay official today. And the play stands incompleted pass. On the sideline, Stephon Page making equipment adjustment. Good burn. First punt of the day for him. Here he runs up, fumble, and then quickly stays in front of it and huddles over it, but Green Bay will have good field position out at their own 41-yard line. And we'll be back to see what the Packers do. No score here from Lambeau Field. 7:38 to go in the first quarter.
This Bud's for you. By Black & Decker, quality tools that go at the top of everyone's gift list. And by Honda, who invite you to test drive the new Accord. You have to drive it to believe it.
And we at NBC say hello to the Packer fans today, too, as the Packers make their first appearance and only appearance of the season on NBC as we take a look at the cardiac kids of the NFL, the new adopted cardiac kids. Green Bay winning 5 games inside the last minute, 4 by 1 point this year. Second possession out over their 40-yard line. Each team has had it once now and punted. Ed West, the tight end, was set in motion. Oh, big hole, and Fullwood gets through. There's a flag thrown, too, in the vicinity of holding.
There's also a strange configuration in the backfield of Lindy Infantes. He had 2 running backs to get the hold call against the Pack. He also had Ed West, the tight end, lined up there, set him in motion. And I think the formation may have confused the Kansas City Chiefs for just a minute.
Here's the penalty call.
57. Still first down.
Rich Moran, the left guard, picks up the penalty call.
Take a look at it. You see, here's the Ed West going in motion. Now, there's nobody in the middle of the field. Take a look at it. They went with the motion man, and that set the middle up. Good blocking in front by James Campen, number 63 for the Pack. He's a good story. Campen starting today for Blair Bush. Bush out with an injury, but today is the first start for Campen since he was a replacement player for the New Orleans Saints in 1987.
First and 20 after the penalty. Back now at their 30-yard line. Green Bay shifting around. Woodside and Fullwood in the backfield. Here's Majkowski dropping back. He's got Fullwood out of the backfield. Nice spin move to get away from a J.C. Pearson tackle and goes out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. This is Sunday number 14 in the NFL. We've got the big one here at Lambeau Field. Let's check around the league. Minnesota playing without Herschel Walker today. Dislocated shoulder. 7-0 they lead. The Bears by a field goal. Cincinnati in that big game. The Bengals coming on now. Houston leading the Central Division in the AFC. Pittsburgh over the Jets 7-0. New Orleans leading San Diego over Washington 7-0. And no score in the Bounty Bowl, I guess, on Philadelphia.
That's a big game for the Buffalo Bills. Down 13-0 early to the Saints. A key game in the AFC East.
6:20 remaining. First quarter. Second down 13. The ball out at the 37-yard line. And Majkowski is forced to use a timeout right now. Each team has had to use a timeout. DeBerg had to look to the Kansas City bench to call a timeout and need an adjustment, and now Don Majkowski does too. So it's 6:14 left to go. Here in the first quarter, Majkowski and Infante will huddle on the Packers sideline, and we'll see what they do when we come back. Well, in the background there, even Santa is here at Lambeau Field today, and he's about the only one that isn't wearing something green and gold. This is the Packers' first appearance back at home since November 5th. They've played a home game, but that was in Milwaukee. Then they've been on the road. So this is the first time in over a month and the last time that these fans will see them in the regular season. Second down 13 after the timeout. Let's set that backfield for you. One back in the backfield. That's Fullwood. 4 wide receivers in the game right now. Perry Kemp comes in motion and lines up right in front, almost like in a fullback position, and then goes in motion again. Majkowski delivers. Incomplete. Intended for Keith Woodside. And Majkowski off the mark here early, being forced, I think, to go to secondary receivers. I don't think he's getting his first guy every time.
Well, he usually does. I mean, he likes Sterling Sharp initially, wants to go to him, but he spreads it around as much as anyone. One of the things Lenny Infante must have is that his receivers must run patterns full out every time, whether they're the primary or secondary receiver, because he sprays the football around so much.
Here's Mr. Third Down, Herman Fontenot, a former Cleveland Brown. There's a Schottenheimer connection there. We'll develop that for you. Now with Infante and the Packers, a very valuable player for this team. All out pressure, and Majkowski has to deliver it very early to Fontenot, and it's incomplete. There were all Chiefs coming after Majkowski, and even if Fontenot had made the catch, Burris was right on top of him.
Well, that's a dangerous play because Burris had Fontenot man-to-man, and there was a very good possibility of the interception there. Majkowski lucky that he threw it away just a little bit, because if had he thrown it on the money or led Fontenot downfield, Burris was right there. Take a look at it, right part of your screen. That's Fontenot. Man-to-man coverage. Here comes Burris on the run. If that's thrown downfield a little bit, it's an interception going the other way.
Don Bracken in for a second punt and a touchback in his first one. There's a flag down. He's running around. I don't know if it was a fake or not. Now he's throwing, and Albert Lewis picks it off at the 49-yard line. I think there was just all-out pressure coming right up the middle on Bracken. He threw the football then, and it was picked off by Albert Lewis.
Well, I'll tell you, Albert Lewis has blocked 6 kicks in his career. He's a real good return man, a blocking guy. There he gets downfield and gets in on the interception, but you're right. That was not a fake. It was simply good pressure.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone. Offense.
Well, it's all coming back.
The play was over.
The whole play is going to be wiped out. But the initial call was offside against Kansas City.
And the second one was that the punter was downfield. Bracken was beyond the line of scrimmage when he tried to throw the pass. Take a look at it. Now, the call is that they lined up in their neutral zone, which is a real no-no. Pressure straight up the gut. Bracken makes the good decision because that ball is going to be blocked if not. He's down past the line of scrimmage. That's the other call. And the interception by Lewis nullified because of it.
The guy that was right in his face was Derek Thomas. 58, the fine rookie. Manley is back returning punts today. Normally, Naz Worthing does that. A rookie for Kansas City, but it's Manley so far today. So Bracken gets a second chance. But he's happy he gets the second chance. Slides this one, a terrible punt. Manley takes it at the 35-yard line. Don Bracken hears the boos. He did not punt well last week in Tampa Bay, and he's off to a rocky start here. Kansas City's got good field position when we come back.
This isn't a little quick.
Guy after he nails a 30-yard punt. Don Bracken just had that happen to him, setting Kansas City up in good field position.
His problem has been the low kicks. He just had a line drive on the last one. A week ago, he had a net average of just 22 yards, which is atrocious in the NFL. In fact, he was last in the league in net punting average.
First and 10, Kansas City. Second possession for them. As you see, the Chiefs staying warm and everybody staying warm. The temperature is going to dip. We told you that because there's some kind of Arctic front or blast coming in here tomorrow that's going to have us way below zero. And we could get a taste of that by the second half.
I'm glad we're moving out before that front moves in.
Well, I don't know. The way the Packer games have gone this year, sometimes they've needed right down to the last second. And who knows? The way these two teams have sized up defensively so far, could be a long, late afternoon. No score here from Lambeau Field. Okoye lines up behind DeBerg. Now Herman Hurd pops into the backfield. On first and 10. They give it to Okoye. And Brian Noble is there. Noble makes the tackle out near the 38-yard line. Short gain of 3, and it will be second down. Let's go around the league now. 7-3, Minnesota leads. Chicago on a Butler field goal leads. Cincinnati by a touchdown over Seattle. Houston and Tampa Bay tied. Tim Worley has scored for Pittsburgh. New Orleans up on 2 touchdowns, 13-0 in that game. They've missed an extra point. San Diego on 2 Billy Joe Tolliver touchdown passes leads Washington. And we are scoreless right here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay with 5:11 to go in the first quarter. Second down and 6. James Saxon breaks through, and Kansas City gets a first down. And we go to New York right now. NFL Live update, and here's Bob Costas.
Okay, Jim and Jimmy, remember all the controversy last year about the hurry-up offense of the Bengals. They try it today against the Seahawks. Offsetting penalties, illegal substitution against Cincinnati. Too many men on the field for the Seahawks. The play is disallowed, but later Esiason threw 21 yards to that man, Tim McGee, for a legitimate touchdown. Bengals 7, Seahawks zipped early in the second.
All right, thank you, Bob. It is first and 10, Kansas City, out at the 48-yard line. After the James Saxon run, and they go back to Okoye, and Blaze Winter knocks him down at midfield, but then he spills into Green Bay territory at the 49. You know, Jimmy, he gets that extra yard because he's so big. I mean, you're tackling 260 pounds.
Not only that, but he runs about a 4.6 40. For a big man, he's incredibly fast. The reason he got into football, he played soccer in his native Nigeria, did not make their national sprint team. That's how fast this guy is. Came over here, played at Azusa Pacific in California, played both track and was a running back, but only had a couple of years experience in American football before he was drafted in the second round by these Chiefs.
Second down and 7. They are in Green Bay territory for the first time. There's the play action, and wide open. Alfredo Roberts, the tight end for Kansas City, and he goes down to the Green Bay 35 to the 34-yard line. And another first down as Kansas City uses that great DeBerg ball handling. You'll watch him here.
That's exactly what it is. It's the great ball handling by DeBerg. Take a look at it. He turns this way, gets the movement going, and then spins back around to get the tight end coming out on a pattern like this. Watch the movement of the Green Bay Packer defense as he does it. Everybody's coming this way. Great play-action fake by Steve DeBerg. That's all quarterback there, giving the big play to the tight end.
You know what he had? He had Tim Harris frozen exactly the way you want him. You don't want him coming at you. First and 10 now, Kansas City. Timeout again. Their second one now here in the half.
Again, you find out, where's Tim Harris? I mean, they don't want to get the mismatch against Harris against the back. They're going to be in trouble. They'd rather waste the timeout.
The second time now here, and we're still in the first quarter with 3:01 left, that DeBerg has come up to the line of scrimmage, taken a look, tried to identify where Harris is, and then had to call the timeout. They didn't have it in time. Couldn't make the play. All right, next weekend, plenty of NFL action here on NBC Sports. Join us on Saturday for a special edition beginning with NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time. Then the AFC Western Division champion Denver Broncos head into the Valley of the Sun to take on the Phoenix Cardinals. Sunday's a football doubleheader afternoon here on NBC. In Game 1, many of you will see the Houston Oilers face the Bengals from the jungle in Cincinnati. And in the second part of the doubleheader, most of you will see the Buffalo Bills battle the defending Super Bowl champs, San Francisco 49ers. And check your local listings for the games in your area on NFL Live. Coming up next week, O.J. Simpson spends the week with the owner's owner, Edward DeBartolo of the San Francisco 49ers.
He's also the player's owner. They have the highest payroll in the NFL, and the guys just love him to death.
Boy, to be that popular, though, that costs you a lot of money.
Hey, it's nice to make your friends happy around the holidays. There's a happy man right now. Mr. Harris has been dominating the NFL, 16.5 sacks. And he's playing on a bad ankle today. He's not been much of a factor, but it's because Kansas City is double-tipping him wherever he goes.
Jonathan Hayes, the tight end, is in a slot. Near the top of the screen now comes in motion. It's 1st and 10 for Kansas City. Okoye is hit right away. There's Harris for the first time today. We see him get on the other side of the offensive line of scrimmage and really make the catch of Christian Okoye.
You know where Harris is? He's right in the middle of the field. Take a look at him, right over the center, working against Mike Webster, the big man. He beats him to the punch and gets into Okoye, but again, before he gets it going. Now, this is what they look at when they come to the line of scrimmage. Where is Harris? That's the first question that Kansas City's going to ask. And this time he's lined up right over the middle of the field, over the center, but he moves around.
Now, he told us yesterday he likes to line up over the guard sometimes and rush from there. A loss of 1 on that play, 2nd down and 11. From the Green Bay 36-yard line, DeBerg. Wide open over the middle. Emil Harry makes the catch. Down at the 25-yard line. He'll be short of a first down, though. So they will come up 3rd down and about a yard to go. Harry makes his first catch of the day. The tackle made by Dave Brown, who will be 37 years old on January 16th. 36 years old in the NFL. And boy, he's having a season.
An interesting story. Dave Brown was a teammate of Mike Webster's on that 1975 Steelers Super Bowl squad, and he's moved around a little bit, was up in Seattle, and came here to Green Bay, but he still, talking to the wide receivers, Stefan Page told us yesterday, he still has the technique of a young man.
3rd down and 1. Saxon in the backfield now with Okoye, but they give it to the big guy, and he bangs it off the right side and should have a Kansas City first down at the 23-yard line. James Saxon was the lead blocker on the play, the fullback coming in there to help out Okoye, and he gets the necessary push in front to get another first down. A good drive for Kansas City now with 1:10 remaining. Saxon is an explosive player.
Take a look at it. Just push and shove from the front. Saxon in front. He gets a little bit of a push, but the whole job is Okoye. You've got to get him around the ankles to get him down. And when you try to do that, he's good for 1.5 yards, which makes it a great show yardage runner.
First down, and Okoye, and he can push and shove and get his way bullishly down to the 20-yard line. Herman Hurd was in the backfield that time as Saxon came out.
Of course, the nickname we've always heard about Christian Okoye, his friends call him the Nigerian Nightmare, and it really belies his personality. As we met him, a very soft-spoken gentleman. He wants to get his graduate degree at Azusa Pacific and go on to teach and coach on the high school level. So Nigerian Nightmare is a nice moniker when you're a football player, but off the field, he's a gentle human being.
2nd down and 6 from the 20 of Green Bay. 20 seconds to go, first quarter. Alfredo Roberts down the line in motion. Here comes Saxon. He's got a hold of the 15 and a first down to the 10. And that should do it here in the first quarter as time will run down. Kansas City with a nice mix on this drive of pass and run as the first quarter will run down. After 1, scoreless here from Lambeau Field in Green Bay, in a game both of these teams need. Kansas City and Green Bay, scoreless after 1, but the Chiefs are knocking on the door. Welcome back to Lambeau Field, set to start the second quarter. Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cefalo. Jimmy, being the giant in the industry that he is, always wants to be in touch with the finest technology.
Well, this is what the players do, especially the Chiefs. This is Derek Thomas's portable tape machine. He carries it on the airplane along with Neil Smith. They watch the game when they're going home. They can have this thing taped and watch it on their way home, or take film from the week before and watch it as they travel to an away site. That's the sign of the modern times in the NFL. Your own portable tape machine to do a little extra homework on the plane.
Coaches take it, general managers take it, and Kansas City ready to go to work now. They can get another first down as they line up 1st and 10 just over the Green Bay 10 as the Packer defense tries to dig in. No score. DeBerg fell, but back up. Got a man open. Jonathan Hayes, touchdown. And the Kansas City Chiefs on the first play of the second quarter jump out to a 6-0 lead. But DeBerg looks like he might have been shaken up.
Well, you know, the fall by DeBerg may have helped his play downfield. When he slipped and fell down, they had the conversion of the secondary and the linebackers coming toward the line of scrimmage. Take a look at it. Watch what happens when he trips. Look at the secondary. They see him fall down. Everybody moves up. He pops back up and gets the wide open man. It's another way of play action, although that wasn't in the game plan for Steve DeBerg. It worked for him.
DeBerg holding now for Nick Lowry, who missed an extra point last week and had his consecutive string snap at 197. But he's right down the middle with this one. And in a big ball game, Kansas City jumps on the board first. First play of the second quarter. DeBerg, an 11-yard touchdown pass to Jonathan Hayes, and the Chiefs lead 7-0. We'll be back. Steve DeBerg throws a touchdown pass to Jonathan Hayes, his tight end, and Kansas City jumps out 7-0. What a good drive it was. 10 plays, 65 yards. It took 5 minutes and 52 seconds. The touchdown pass was 11 yards as Nick Lowry kicks it away. The whole drive was set up. A bad punt by Green Bay's Don Bracken of 30 yards. Here's Keith Woodside. Or excuse me, that's Brett. That is Mitch Workman, and Workman brings it out to the 20-yard line. Workman to the 20, 1st and 10, Kansas City. The rookie out of Ohio State. Lewis Cooper's down on the tackle for Kansas City. There it is. That's a lot of time. 5:52 and a good drive by DeBerg.
Well, they set it up with the running to Okoye, and then he pulls it out of his belly and throws it downfield for a couple of successive passes. And DeBerg, really the guy right now who's making this offense work. It's not Okoye any longer alone.
All right, so Green Bay's third crack with the football. They moved it their first time deep into Chiefs territory, but then Kansas City stiffened and stopped them. The second time they were 3 and out. 1st and 10 from just shy of their own 20. Let's head west, the tight end in motion. Here's Fullwood to the outside. Deron Cherry runs him down out over the 25-yard line to the 27 as Fullwood runs out of one tackle. And out of Auburn University, Fullwood becoming the main man running the ball for Green Bay. Minnesota by 7 now. Detroit leads over Chicago 7-3. The Lions have won a couple in a row. And Cincinnati's up their lead to 10. Houston, in that big game for them, they're all big to all of those AFC Central Division teams. Pittsburgh leading, and New Orleans leads Buffalo 13-6 in the second quarter. San Diego 14-0, and Philadelphia's on the board over Dallas. And here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Kansas City has scored on the first play of the second quarter and leads 7-0 on second down. Fullwood again. Dives up near a first down, shy of the 30-yard line, so he'll be shy of the first down. He's brought down by Dino Hackett as Hackett brings him down and also getting up. Look at that. Isn't that nice? That's gentleman play there as the Fullwood helps out with Leonard Griffin's face mask that was full of Lambeau Field turf.
You know the next thing that Leonard Griffin's going to do? You know what he's going to try to do on this play? He's going to try to knock the heck out of Fullwood. That's not such a nice thing to do.
Well, in the now, if this was a beauty pageant, that would be the Mr. Congeniality award right there.
And that's about it. Doesn't get you much in the NFL.
16 yards rushing for Fullwood. Third down, less than 1. Haddix is in the lineup right now as a fullback. Michael Haddix as they go back to Fullwood. And on that second attempt, he gets the first down. Green Bay will have it 1st and 10 out over their own 30-yard line. And Jimmy Majkowski has not completed a pass so far here this afternoon. But their running game has given them some movement.
Well, he's had a lot of pressure. Most of the time when he's dropped back to pass, someone's been in his face. And right now, Marty Schottenheimer is winning that chess game that we talked about earlier in the contest. He's beating Lindy and Fonte by putting a couple of defenses, putting pressure on Majkowski, and has been shutting down the running game, at least until this drive.
I'll correct myself. He hasn't completed a pass in a while, but he's 3 for 6. Sterling Sharp off the line of scrimmage now at the bottom of your screen. The second man in on this set. 1st and 10. Majkowski steps up and throws, and it's incomplete, intending it for Sharp down at midfield, and J.C. Pearson was the defensive back who almost ended up with the football as he was in that area. Second down and 10 coming up with 13:01 left here in the first half. Plays being signaled in by Anthony Dillway, number 8, a rookie quarterback out of Duke. 13:01 left here in the first half. Second down and 10. Ball out over the 30-yard line. Fullwood, the lone back in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in for Green Bay. Majkowski running out of time. He's got room to run. And gets up to the 40-yard line, fumbles the ball, but they roll him down at the 40. You know, Majkowski came into the game as Green Bay's second leading rusher.
This is another play that Majkowski made the intelligent decision by running it up the field. They had man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and when they went with it, that leaves the quarterback all the room in the world to run it downfield. Take a look at it. Man-to-man coverage, every defensive back and linebacker has someone they're covering. That means the whole middle of the field is wide open for Majkowski. He makes the intelligent decision and gets very close to a first down.
You know what's really bearing fruit here is that this secondary is tough to throw against.
It's the best in football. Albert Lewis is the quarterback for the Chiefs, is the best single man-to-man guy in football today.
3rd down and 2. Majkowski looking down the sideline. Contact is made as Aubrey Matthews was going for the football with J.C. Pearson, but there's no flag. Not a popular decision here in Green Bay, as there was definite contact made between Pearson and Matthews.
This is a tough one to tell. It looks like both people are going after the football. Now, who's this against? It's hard to tell who runs into whom. They were going at it from different directions. Of course, the fans here in Green Bay want the call.
Don Bracken is into punt again as the Packers cannot get a first down. Pete Manley is back deep for Kansas City. The Packers trail 7-0. Again, it's short, and he gets a bad bounce. Kansas City will have good field position once again out over their own 30-yard line to the 31.
Jared Thomas has been a bit quiet today, but I bet it has a lot to do with what the Packers are trying to get done to him. Take a look at it. Going against Ken Rutgers, number 75. Yeah, there you go. That's the old takedown. That belongs on Saturday Night Wrestling. As Derek Thomas trying to get it done, but Ken Rutgers won't let it happen. We'll be back in a moment.
If you thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, Norelco says,
And cut shavers, we make close comfortable. And by Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name.
Welcome back to Green Bay as Tim Harris and the Packer defense will now try and dig in after giving up a touchdown their last time out defending against Kansas City. The Chiefs have it after a second consecutive Don Bracken 30-yard punt. He's averaging 32 yards punting the ball for Green Bay. That's been a problem here today. So Kansas City out over their own 30. They go to Okoye. Chews up the field and goes out near the 35-yard line. Our NFL Live headlines from earlier this afternoon. These notes, Bobby Beathard says, don't expect Goldback to play football after this year. Bernie Kosar, Merlin Olsen reports that Kosar can't straighten his throwing arm. He's having a terrible time with his elbow. And Jerry Glanville, the Oilers coach, says he doesn't have job security despite being in first place. But then again, he says no coach does. NFL Live halftime scores coming up. Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, and the gang in New York at halftime. 11:15 left here in the first half. Alfredo Roberts in motion. Back to Okoye on second down. Runs up near a first down, and a late flag is thrown from way back into the offensive line pile. And let's see if they might have nailed the Chiefs on this one. They were up close to a first down if the play stood. As Okoye heads back to the Kansas City huddle.
Well, that's a block below the waist from the back. You know, when you're coming in as a wide receiver, you've got to stay above the waist on the numbers.
And that's going to hurt them deeply now after they were near the first down.
Number 89, back.
It's on Pete Manley, the wide receiver.
That's always the call. When you see that kind of emotion, the wide receiver has got to start his block on the number of the defender he's blocking because he's coming from the outside in. It can be a very dangerous block against a defensive lineman or a linebacker. Manley gets called for it. Got to stay up on the numbers. It's a dangerous play.
So that will make it second down and 20. And again, the Packer defense, namely Tim Harris, trying to get this big crowd excited as their offense has done nothing, but their defense is trying to ignite this place. They trail 7-0.
Harris is moving inside over the center again, right over Webster.
Now they're calling it second and 21. And they run Okoye, and he gets short yardage out over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Scott Stevens comes in, a linebacker, to make the tackle. Stephen, in his third year out of Arizona State, made his first start last week, and there's kind of a cute story about it. In Tampa Bay, he replaced John Anderson, who was injured, and he didn't know how to really go out for the starting lineups, right?
Yeah, he didn't know how to start a game. You know, and Anderson grabbed him and said, "You're supposed to be on the field. They're going to announce you." He said, "For what?" He said, "Because you're a starter today." That's the idea of this thing.
Oh, once he got adjusted, he came up with a great interception in that game. He deflected the ball and then caught it on the ground. It's 3rd and 20. DeBerg has his own set of problems. 3rd and 19. out of the shotgun. Gives it off to Todd McNair. And McNair runs it out to the 29-yard line, and Green Bay defends well that time, but the penalty on Pete Manley really put the brakes on Kansas City this time around. So McNair, the rookie out of Temple, back over to the sideline, and Kelly Goodburn will come in to punt it away.
Take a look at it. They identify Harris. Here he is. He gets up the field. They block him and go underneath him. Take a look at it. They try to take advantage of his upfield rush. You see him going up the field. That's where they run the football. But, of course, they needed a ton of yardage for the first down.
Big punt by Goodburn, and Jeff Query takes it and cuts it up the middle of the field with good speed. Out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. And the Magic Man has got to get it going for Green Bay.
But, of course, they needed a ton of yardage for the first down.
Big punt by Goodburn, and Jeff Query takes it and cuts it up the middle of the field with good speed. Out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. And the Magic Man has got to get it going for Green Bay right now against a very fine defense, as Majkowski is looking into a lot of problems here today into this Chiefs secondary, trying to find the openings. Back out onto the field he comes. Green Bay has been held without any points so far. Minnesota and Atlanta. That game piling up the points second quarter. Vikes lead. And, of course, that's of interest now to these Packers because they came into the game tied in the NFC Central, both at 8-5. Detroit leading over Chicago. Pittsburgh still leading over the Jets. And Houston in that first-place position now in the AFC Central leading. Washington, they can ill afford a loss today. And Philadelphia, 14-0 over Dallas. First and 10, Green Bay as they trail 7-0. Second quarter. Brent Forward, he's been the only offense so far for Green Bay today. Goes out to the 40-yard line. He's wrapped up by Dino Hackett. Hackett makes a lot of tackles, doesn't he? He is really one of those inside linebackers that is always where the ball is.
Well, he made the Pro Bowl a year ago for the first time. Out of Appalachian State, he was the number 2 draft choice of the Chiefs. This guy once made 27 tackles in one college football game.
And in his senior year, I believe, Jimmy, at college, he made over 200 tackles in his senior year alone. A reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. Majkowski setting up his Packers. Ball is at their own 41-yard line. Second down at 6. Nice fake, and Fontenot on a reverse. Has the first down into Kansas City territory as Deron Cherry makes the tackle. The second reverse today for Green Bay, and both have worked well.
Well, again, what happens is it's the motion coming. Everybody's coming this way, and they take the reverse around. Take a look at it. Everybody's coming to the left of your screen. They're coming back to the right. Now watch the guard get out in front. I believe that's Ron Hallstrom out in front of the play. Levels a couple of people, and that's good enough for a first down.
Walker Lee Ashley made the tackle. The Packers are at midfield.
That is what is meant by misdirection. The term is used so often. What it means, get everybody going in one direction and come back the other side. The Packers have done it twice to perfection today.
Still, Green Bay has not been able to get the ball to Sterling Sharp. But for one catch, Majkowski trying to find somewhere to go, ad-libbing now. And Perry Kemp makes the catch. And he gets leveled down at the 43-yard line. A good play by Majkowski to buy some extra time. And Kemp really got his bell rung down there by Danny Saliamua and Chris Martin.
Lindy Infante believes you always take your best receiver and put him on the weak side of the formation. Now, what defensive coordinators do is double team the weak side receiver. That's Sterling Sharp today. That's the reason he's not getting a lot of movement over there. Kemp's going to have to pick up the slack if they're going to be successful with the passing attack.
Picked up 7 on that play, and it's second down and 3. The backfield right now as Majkowski comes out will be Forward going to a fullback position. Now they shift out of that. And Woodside goes offset to the left side. Back to Forward. Stopped right away. Neil Smith came in there. Number 90, Smith having a great year this season. They were wondering a little bit about Smith, weren't they, in his rookie season last year, whether they might have come up with a bad first pick, but he played well this year.
He's really played well. When he entered Nebraska, he entered as a basketball player. As we take a look at the play, he entered as a basketball player, and he ran a 40-yard dash in 5.1. He weighed 208 pounds. When he left, he was 260, and he ran a 4.6. I think that's a lot of improvement for a 4-year period. But Neil Smith continues to improve in the pros, and the Chiefs think they've got a good number one now in his second year.
How about this? Third down and 1. 4 wide receivers in the game right now for Green Bay and a shotgun.
The draw.
Majkowski Majkowski following Hallstrom all the way up the field for a first down to the Kansas City 23-yard line. Good call.
This is a great call. Take a look at it. They blocked everybody out this way. You got man-to-man coverage. Everybody here, at least the middle of the field, wide open. Take a look how it sets up. Hey, if you're going to play man-to-man coverage, the draw is about the best call you got. Look at the hole in the middle. Now pick up 65 Hallstrom in front with the great block against Duran Cherry. And the Magic Man gets a lot of yardage and a first down. Great call by Infante.
18 yards. And a first down, and Green Bay trying to drive for the tie right now with 5:52 left to go in the first half. Play action fake to forward. To Spagnuolo, the tight end. He's open, and he's inside the 10. It will be first and goal, Green Bay. Jimmy, they're very rich in tight ends, aren't they? With Didier, Spagnuolo, and Ed West.
And they just got West back. He's their leading tight end receiver. He had 20 catches coming in today. But take a look at the great play-action fake taking a part of the playbook of the Kansas City Chiefs and DeBerg. Fooled the entire defense in Spagnuolo. There's no one within 10 yards of this man.
First and goal from the 9. Kansas City's defense in the last 5 games has only allowed 57 points. So let's see if they can turn back the pack right here. First and goal. 5 minutes to go, first half. Blitz coming from the right side, and Fullwood's in trouble. Spins out of it. Loose football as Duran Cherry hit him. Let's see if they ruled him down. I believe they did. Getting down there once again was Ron Hallstrom, 65, but it was Chris Martin who was in there too, but they're going to say that Fullwood was down as they dodge a bullet there and get it inside the 8-yard line.
Hallstrom is playing quite a game today, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is.
In that right guard position. But let's take a look at the important part. Does Fullwood give it up before he hits the ground or not?
Well, what do you think?
I'd love to see that one again. Is what I'd like. I know the official doesn't have that luxury, but to me, you got to look at that one a second time. His knee may have touched the ground, but that's a close call.
Second down and goal from the 7. Curry Kemp in motion. Majkowski looking, and the ball was batted down by Derek Thomas, the rookie out of Alabama, as they were trying to throw to Ed West, the tight end. And Derek Thomas was right there to knock it back. Boy, what an athlete he is.
He's just an amazing football player. They get him solidified at the line of scrimmage. Good block by Rutgers. Actually, not at all by Rutgers. He was standing back in coverage and was smart enough to get his hands up into the air. That's an unusual sight. You never see Derek Thomas standing at the line of scrimmage. He's usually going after the quarterback.
A lot of good defensive rookies this year. Third down and goal now. Big play. Packers have it at the 7-yard line. 4 wide receivers. And they're looking for Fontenot. And he makes the catch and then cannot hang on as Albert Lewis is right up at the 5-yard line in Kansas City. Great coverage all over the field.
Well, as Lindy Infante told us yesterday, he uses the short passing game like an extended running game. The problem is that, here, take a look at the coverage here. You got man-to-man coverage here. Now, I believe it's Lewis is going to come out and take the halfback there. Look how close it comes to being the interception. Exactly what happens. You find the man-to-man coverage. Here comes Lewis off from the inside and nearly makes that interception. That's a dangerous play when you're going against the Chiefs.
25-yard field goal attempt by the rookie and hero from last week. Chris Jackie is good. And the Packers are on the board. They march up the field, don't get the 7, settle for the 3, and with 3:57 to go in the half, there's your score.
Hello? Joan, where are you? Almost there.
Well, what's the difference between this year and last year? Lindy Infante told us yesterday. There it is. 11 balloons in the huddle. Let us go. We all went in different directions. This year they are in sync. 8 and 5. Winners of 3 in a row. And right in the hunt in the NFC Central Division. Entering the day tied with Minnesota. Kicking off as Worthing takes it. And the Chiefs will bring it out over their own 20 to 23-yard line. And that's where Steve DeBerg and the Chiefs offense will start. Leading in the game 7-3. All the scoring here in the second quarter. DeBerg threw a touchdown pass to Jonathan Hayes in the first play of the quarter, 11 yards, and then a 25-yard field goal by Jackie for Green Bay. Minnesota leading 17-10. Detroit Cincinnati shutting out Seattle in their game. Pittsburgh still leading the Jets. New Orleans upsetting Buffalo in Buffalo in the second quarter. San Diego and Philadelphia, your other leaders. First and 10 now. Kansas City leading by 4. They drop back to DeBerg. And Stephon Page makes a great catch, sliding out over the 45 to the 46-yard line. Stephon Page working against Mark Lee and Mark Murphy on that play.
It's also a great throw by DeBerg. Take a look at it. Page runs him off as much as he can, and then as soon as he makes the break, the ball is on the money. That's the only spot that ball could have been completed, and DeBerg should be really applauded by that. As almost like it coming in from the backside, like Chuck Cecil.
Boy, Stephon Page happy at the turn of events for his team and himself as he's starting to see the football now late in this season. That is a 23-yard pass play, and wide open over the middle is Emil Harry. Down into Packer territory, down to the 37-yard line. Emil Harry makes the catch of a Steve DeBerg pass, and DeBerg has come up with 2 big pass plays in a row now with 2:50 to go in the half.
And it's another crossing route, this time by Harry on the same side of the field, however. I'll tell you, this secondary of the Packers have been doing a good job so far, but they cannot only concern themselves with Okoye because DeBerg will pick them apart if they do.
18 more yards on that play. First down. Now he goes to Okoye. Giving them a little bit of everything, isn't he? Nice change of pace right there. Dives inside the 35, down to the Packer 33-yard line. Johnny Holland and Blaze Winter are over on the tackle. Last week, Okoye rushed for 148 yards. This week, it's been tough sledding so far in here against the Packers as we have 2 minutes to go now in the first half. We're at the 2-minute warning. Kansas City and Green Bay in a game that they both need desperately. 7-3 Chiefs on top. Our Super Bowl picks from our NBC team of analysts, including James Cefalo.
You have to watch it halftime to find that out. It's just a lot of fun.
I wrote yours.
And you know, so Tony Mandrich, of course, the #1 choice of the Pack, has not played a lot this year, and he came off as that big, gruff kind of guy. Last week, he softened a little bit. There was only one injury to the Pack last week. That's when their priest jumped up in the air after the big field goal, tore an Achilles tendon, and Mandrich wheeled him off the wheelchair off the airplane. He's turning into a nice man. The fans here in Green Bay like him.
Play action fake. DeBerg has Herman Hurd wide open and a blocker up the sideline. Hurd to the 10, to the 5, with Jonathan Hayes leading the way. And once again, crafty Steve DeBerg with that great ability to fake that handoff freezes everybody.
You know, he does it in an unusual way. He actually takes the football and sticks it out. Now, a defensive lineman or linebacker will see the ball exposed. Take a look at DeBerg. See, he actually sticks the ball into the belly of Okoye. Then he pulls it the way back out. And that's why he is the best play-action man in football today.
27-yard play. First and goal, Kansas City. They lead 7-3. Okoye to the 5 and dives down to the 3-yard line where Blaze Winter brings him down. And Johnny Holland is once there again. Remember, Kansas City had to use 2 timeouts in the first quarter when DeBerg was a bit puzzled up at the line of scrimmage. So they only have 1 left. With 1:04 left right now. And we have a timeout. Green Bay has called a timeout, so they have 1 left. We'll be back to see what Kansas City does right after this.
If ever a name stood for a flat-out performance and excitement.
Take a look at Robert Brown, number 93. Now, that's actually a signal to Tim Harris. He wants him to come inside on a loop. And that's exactly what happens. It looks like a strange call if you're sitting in the stands, and Robert Brown is just beating himself up on the run.
He was saying it just hurts right here. It's just a little bit here.
Or worse.
Incidentally, Herman Fontenot went to the Packer locker room as it appears as though he has an injured hand, the Green Bay running back. It is second down and goal as Steve DeBerg checks the wristband. That's where all the plays are. Plays and formations on his wristband. Second and goal from the Packer 3. Okoye with a flag down goes into the end zone for a touchdown. But let's check the penalty. It's going to be against Green Bay.
87. Lined up in the zone. Is the clock.
Tim Harris lines up in the neutral zone, offside Green Bay. Of course, Kansas City declines it, and Okoye scores.
Harris lined up in the neutral zone. The play went away from him, however, and look at people bouncing off Okoye. If you try to run at this man's thighs, he'll just run you completely over. He's too big to do that. You got to get him down by the ankles to try and take him to the turf.
Kansas City on the board, second touchdown of the day. One by pass, and this one by run. And Lowry to attempt the extra point. With 1:01 to go in the half. It's good. And the Kansas City Chiefs have come in here and moved the ball very, very well behind that man, number 17, Steve DeBerg, and lead with 1:01 to go in the half, 14-3. Yesterday when DeBerg arrived in town and we talked to him, I have never seen a quarterback so loose before such an important game. I think it's just because he is really having a ball.
He's enjoying it. He nicknamed himself Freddy Krueger because he said, hey, I just keep coming back to haunt Monty Schottenheimer. He says it with a smile on his face. He's been benched twice this year. One for Ron Jaworski and once for Steve Pallure, but every time he gets back into the lineup, DeBerg shows that he really is a high-caliber NFL quarterback.
Now, he's been in the playoffs once. He's been with a ton of teams, but he's been in the playoffs once, and that was with Denver. But that really wasn't his team. This would be his team if he could get them there.
Look at the people he's backed up during his career. Joe Montana in San Francisco. Vinny Testaverde he backed up. John Elway in Denver. Every place he's gone, there's been a tremendous quarterback. But through the years, he's taken, he told us yesterday, he's taken the knowledge of all those people, and he's incorporated it. He said the best quarterback coach he ever had was Bill Walsh. And he said the quarterback he learned most from was Roger Staubach.
And that's where he learned how to do the ball handling, how to really act out the play-action fake. Now, the replacements, Elway, Montana, Steve Young, Jaworski, who has rejoined him now, or is with him right here in Kansas City. He replaced him earlier this year. And Steve Pallure, who came over here in the trade from Dallas. The touchdown drive for Kansas City. It took 6 plays. It went 78 yards, 2:56 on the clock, and a 3-yard run by Okoye. And it's 14-3, and Green Bay is in a familiar position right now behind. As they've had to come back so many times this year. It's Vince Workman taking it at the 15. In trouble, sidesteps out to the 22-yard line, brought down by Tommy Agee and by Rob McGovern, a rookie linebacker out of Holy Cross. At halftime, Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, scores and highlights, and as I told you, Jimmy Cefalo and the rest of our NBC analysts making their Super Bowl picks and their dark horse picks. Surprise teams that might enter into it. And I'll tell you what, not to really give it away, some people think that Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs are one of those teams that figure in a dark horse position.
Well, this is definitely, I think it's the team of the 90s in the AFC, especially in the early years.
Okay, in the 90s, you're picking the Chiefs to be a strong contending team.
They've got a secondary and a defense that's second to none right now in that conference.
Majkowski has to get out of there. Fires across the middle, and Sterling Sharp had it, and then it leaked away, and Albert Lewis was running by and almost ended up with the football. They just can't get the ball to Sterling Sharp. Let's see why.
What they do, Sterling Sharp, inside of your screen, they run a lot of options. They double team him. You see him Burris in front and Lewis in the back, and he does really a great job of getting away from them. He's double teamed all over the field. Yes, he makes the drop, but it's tough to get away from that type of coverage.
This is not new to him to get double covered. He's been getting it now every week. Last week against Tampa Bay, it was the same situation, and yet he came up with 10 catches in that game. 4 wide receivers in for Green Bay. Second down and 10 with 49 seconds to go here in the half. Majkowski gets stripped of the football. Loose ball. Let's see who has it. Kansas City comes up with it. Neil Smith. As Majkowski was trying to get away from an oncoming defender, the ball was exposed, and a big turnover late here in the first half.
Take a look at it. I think they only rushed 4 people on this play. And it comes from the backside, the pressure. Now, Smith has got that great wingspan. He's got a 7-foot wingspan. He uses it there, knocks it away, and comes up with the recovery himself. Take a look at it again from the left side. He's working in the middle now. The great wingspan of Neil Smith and Majkowski drops the football.
Big turnover as Neil Smith comes up with the knockaway and the recovery of the Majkowski fumble, and DeBerg is right back out on the field, and Kansas City can cash in. One timeout left in their category. Off the left side they run it this time, and inside the 15-yard line, Bob Nelson makes the tackle with 36 seconds left. And look at the Chiefs saying, hurry up, come on, get back up. We only have a timeout left.
They only have the one timeout left. They've got to save it to get the kicking team on the field. Look for the play-action fake by DeBerg to Okoye and go downfield with it.
Second down at 6. 17 seconds left here in the half. DeBerg looking into the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. In the direction of Emil Harry, who's had a couple of catches today. And Harry slipped down in the corner of the end zone on the icy part of Lambeau Field, which is on the exterior part.
Now, I think he's got time for one more play with 11 seconds remaining. With the veteran quarterback, he'll get rid of it out of the back of the end zone if nobody's open. But there's still more than enough time with the one timeout remaining to try one more shot at the end zone.
Artie Schottenheimer's Chiefs have come in here ready to play today. Defensively, they've lived up to their billing as a very tough, opportunistic defensive team, and their offense has improved week by week, making them a team to watch here down the stretch. It is now 3rd and 6. Down the middle, into the end zone, touchdown, Kansas City. Emil Harry makes the grab, and the Chiefs score with 7 seconds to go in the half.
It's a terrific play by Emil Harry. Here he is here coming across, gets into the end zone. That is the important part to remember. He's got to get past that end zone line. A lot of receivers, if they're not the veterans, they'll forget to do that. Take a look at him just inside the end zone. Enough presence of mind to get it in. Good play by Harry.
Ron Pitts was the defender on the play, and Nick Lowry is in to attempt the extra point. What a huge turnaround. It would have been bad enough to go in down 14-3. Now they'll go into the locker room down 21-3 after the Majkowski fumble. Kansas City recovers and puts it right back into the end zone.
But you only have to go back to look at their comebacks. They came back against the Saints when they were down 10 points, the Falcons when they were down 15, the Bears they were down 6, the same against the Bucks. 21-3, I would say the game is over. But against this team, not quite yet. Lindy Infante and Majkowski have come back from too many deficits just like this one.
Scores and highlights coming up at halftime, but let's check in on the numbers. You'll see the highlights when we go to Bob and O.J. back in New York. Minnesota leading by 10, 20-10. They have to love the score coming out of Green Bay today. Detroit leading over Chicago. New Orleans still holding on to that lead over Buffalo. What's happened to the Bills? They lost in Seattle Monday night and are losing at home today. Washington on the board now at the half, 14-7 San Diego, and Philadelphia leading over Dallas 14-3 in the second quarter. 21-3 here at Kansas City. Steve DeBerg has thrown 2 touchdown passes, one to Jonathan Hayes, one to Emil Harry, and Christian Okoye bowled in from 3 yards out. And the only points on the board for Green Bay, a 25-yard field goal by Chris Jackie.
And this crowd has gotten awfully quiet all of a sudden. This team in Green Bay, they've really become heroes over the past month or so. A week ago when they got to the airport, there were about 4,000 fans waiting for them to cheer them on, and they really enjoy this team.
All right, here's Lowry into the football, kicks it away, down it goes. That's Clint Didier, the tight end, hopping on it over the 35-yard line to the 36. And with 5 seconds left to go, Green Bay got burned in the final seconds here in the first half. They won't get fancy right now.
Well, they've got nothing to lose right now. I mean, this is the time for the Hail Mary pass and throw it downfield. What do you have to lose? You get the interference call, and you get a chance to attempt a field goal, or you get the lucky bounce. I mean,
and I'll tell you, the way their season's gone,
you might as well throw it up.
Yeah. I mean, everything that they put up in this kind of situation, when they're desperate, it works. 21-3 Packers trailing by 18, 5 seconds to go in the half. 4 wide receivers in. Well, they're just going to go into the locker room as they give it to Fontenot. There's a flag down, so we'll have to wait and see. The Chiefs are heading off into the locker room. Majkowski's heading off into the locker room. But there is a penalty down on the turf, and here's Jim Conley.
Offense, 65. Penalty is declined. Half is over.
And that's the way it went for Green Bay here in the first half. Don Majkowski and the Chiefs back into the locker room. Major regrouping against a very tough defense. 21-3, Kansas City leads over the Green Bay Packers. Kansas City came in unbeaten in their last 3, and Green Bay has won their last 3 in a row, but both must continue to win to stay alive in the playoff race. NFL Live halftime activities continue after this message and a word from the National Football League. Back to Green Bay, and at halftime, Kansas City well in control, 21-3. Let's go to the Coors game summary statistics, and Jimmy, translate those.
Well, the big numbers that you see, just the 41 yards passing by the Packers and Majkowski. He came into this game leading the NFL in passing yardage. He had over 3,700, and so this Kansas City defense has shut him down completely. That is the real story of the afternoon, Majkowski's inability to throw the football.
Now, the big thing is that if you're a Green Bay fan, you kind of say right now, well, the Packers have them where they want them because they're so used to really having to pull off tremendous come-from-behind finishes.
In fact, that was the talk in the locker room, or up here in the press box for most of the halftime activities. Take a look. This is what happened in the fourth quarter deficits for the Packers. They were down 10 to the Saints, 15 to the Falcons, 6 to the Bears and the Buccaneers, and 3 to the Vikes, and they won all those games. And so, in a sense, they've got them right where they want them.
And I'm sure Marty Schottenheimer didn't have to do much to drill that point home to his Kansas City Chiefs. Now, yes, Green Bay has been very good coming from behind, but what about, this defense that Majkowski's going up against?
It's a great defense. They're really playing extremely well. Let's get back to the Packers for just a second. This crowd here has been behind this team for the last few weeks extremely well. At the airport this past week, last Sunday, take a look at it. 4,000 fans showed up to welcome the Packers back after their heart-stopping victory over the Tampa Bay Bucks. 4,000 fans.
Listen to them. All right, that's really nice. Those are visions of a city that has really been waiting to explode with a winner once again, and they feel they have it right now. So it is going to take a great effort here in the second half. In the playoff race, if Green Bay loses, they're not in a good situation because in all the tiebreakers, they don't match up well against Minnesota or in a wild card position.
That's right. Even if they win them all, if they win the remainder of their games, and so if the Vikings won all of theirs, it'd be a tough situation because Minnesota has a better divisional record than does Green Bay, and that would be the tiebreaker that would apply in this case, and they would win the division. So it's all to Majkowski now. They've got to win the remainder of their games and hope that Minnesota loses.
Majkowski, a fierce competitor, really has to feel very badly about the fumble late in the first half, turning the ball over, and then Kansas City getting another touchdown. They were down 14-3, and he fumbled inside a minute remaining. Kansas City scooped that up. Neil Smith knocked the ball away, recovered it, and then they went right in and got another touchdown. Not even a field goal. They went in and got it all, another touchdown.
You know what's surprising about today? The fact that Kansas City has played so extremely well. We've not called the name of Derek Thomas very often this afternoon.
No, he's come up with one knockdown on a play, and he also almost blocked a punt earlier in the game. But as you say, really, Harris and Derek Thomas are headlining rushing linebackers. Sack specialists have not really come to figure in this game. Kansas City will receive here in the second half. But what about Steve DeBerg? We hear so much about Majkowski. DeBerg has had a sensational game.
He has a true grasp of this offense now, and the play-action faking that he does is it's incredible. It opens up the secondary, and he's proven that he can do that better than anybody today.
Chris Jackie, who has Green Bay's only points with a 25-yard field goal in the second quarter, will start us off here in the second half as the Packers trail 21-3. And here comes Naz Worthing from his own 5-yard line for Kansas City. It's a hole out to the 30 to the 31-yard line, and he is wrapped up and brought down there as the Packers are down on the play. Johnny Holland was there, and also coming in was Mark Hall to make the tackle. Steve DeBerg with a good first half. 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. He was criticized earlier this season for making bad throws and throwing interceptions. He said to us last night, you know what? I'll take the blame for that, but our receiving corps, none of them were here early in the season. None of them really knew the offense at that time.
Right, Stephon Page was a holdout. Pete Manley didn't come over until the middle of September.
Christian Okoye has a touchdown rushing here today, and he takes the first play of the second half rushing and barrels out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Scott Stephen on that outside linebacker spot on the left side for the Packers is over to make the chase there, and I believe Stephen is in there now replacing John Anderson, who was a bit gimpy on an ankle coming into this game, but was going to start. But Steven comes in after a fine performance in Tampa Bay last week. There he is with the shield, getting some help from Mark Lee. 6 yards on first down, not bad for Kansas City. That's where you like to be. Second down and 4 up to the line of scrimmage to DeBerg. Stephon Page will come in motion. Okoye will have a first down over the 40-yard line out to the 42. They'll give him the 43-yard line. Mark Lee is over on the tackle. Blaze Winter was in that area too. So Kansas City starts out on the ground.
And if they can establish a running attack in the second half, that, of course, makes their play-action passing that much more effective. And this pack can be in a lot of trouble. The secondary has got to get up and try to cause the turnover. When you're down by 18 points, this offense alone will not get it done for it. They need to create the turnover.
That's what Okoye has done. His touchdown run was at 3 yards. James Saxon checks into the offensive backfield for the Chiefs on 1st and 10 from their own 43. Okoye up the middle, goes over the 45-yard line up to the 47. Coming up tonight on NBC, a special presentation of the fact-based drama about the life of NBA star Isaiah Thomas. All 3 Woodard stars in A Mother's Courage, the Mary Thomas story. Then it's the new NBC comedy Ann Jillian, followed by Sister Kate. And don't miss NBC Sunday Night at the Movies. George Papad stars in the NBC world premiere movie Man Against the Mob, the Chinatown Murders. That's tonight on NBC. Steve DeBerg faces 2nd and 5 with 12:53 left here in the third quarter. The ball is at his own 48-yard line. The sun out down here at Lambeau Field. Okoye gets to midfield and is pushed back by the Packers. Johnny Holland is the first man, number 50, the linebacker, in there to make the tackle. There's Holland out of Texas A&M.
At this stage of the contest, DeBerg and Marty Schottenheimer are not going to put the ball in the air unless absolutely necessary. Here they've got a 3rd and 2. You might see him go to the play-action pass downfield. But in this drive so far, it's been Okoye the entire time.
Marty and his Chiefs get on to a 16-0 lead against Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins last week at home. Then Miami made a bit of a run at them. But the Chiefs went on a couple of long ball control drives that put the game away. 3rd down and 2. Big play here. And Okoye goes right and gets the first down to the Green Bay 45-yard line. He runs into Brian Noble and Scott Steven. And the power running of Christian Okoye now figures big here in the third quarter as Green Bay has to stop him to get the ball back.
Take a look at it from the end zone. The right side of the line, Irv Eatman, number 75, David Lutz, number 72. They get the big hole going for him. Some help from Jonathan Hayes, number 85. You give him that much of a crack, and he's good for 4 or 5 yards every play.
Well, look at now. He's starting to pile up the yardage with 52 rushing in the day. Another first down for Kansas City. Great fake by DeBerg. And he throws to Jonathan Hayes. And he'll get another Kansas City first down inside the 35 of Green Bay to the 31-yard line. Once again, DeBerg with his own magic show.
There's also some great play-action faking by the tight end. Hayes, watch him. He fakes a block here, then he'll spin around after all the garbage clears away. Look at him. Look at that. He's blocking down, blocking down, blocking down. Then he spins away. And that, combined with the good ball handling by DeBerg, gets a big first down for the Chiefs.
James Saxon checks into the offensive backfield along with Okoye as you look at Steve DeBerg, who's been very good today. James Saxon is hit at the 30-yard line. Brian Noble is on top, and we have a little skirmish down at the 22-yard line now as Pete Manley gets into it with Chuck Cecil, I believe. Sellout crowd at Lambeau Field, hoping that they get something to cheer about. The Kansas City Chiefs trainers attending to Christian Okoye on the bench. Here's the play that he went out injured on.
Looked like he fell on the football, but he's still on the sideline on the bench. And an important part of this Kansas City offense that could really tear him down as they head down the stretch if he's got to miss any amount of time.
3rd down at 6. It looks like DeBerg might have pulled the Packers offside. He's throwing for Clarence Weathers, and it was knocked away. Dave Brown got over there to get a hand on it as Weathers was wide open in the end zone, and Brown got back offside against Green Bay. So the play will come back, so it really was a free one for Kansas City.
Take a look at the pattern from the receiver. Here he is here working down the field and trying to get in the back here. And DeBerg knows he's got a free play. He takes a shot at it, but a great play by the quarterback to run back and just get there in time. There's him working down the field into the corner. Here comes the defensive back over Brown to make a great play to prevent the touchdown.
Green Bay cannot buy a break so far. Instead of third down at 6, it's third down and 1 after the penalty line. Christian Okoye from the Chiefs bench did get the wind knocked out of him, and he'll be back. Third and 1 right now. James Saxon gets hit by Blaze Winter. But let's see if they got enough for the first down. They only needed a yard. And we'll wait for the spot. DeBerg, in the meantime, goes racing over to the Kansas City bench. It is fourth down. They have the sticks in the same spot, and the yard marker stays there, so they did not get it. Not close enough for a measurement. And it's 4th and 1, and Kansas City will go.
Yeah, the fact they don't have Okoye in there, of course, is going to hurt him. He's the man they like to go to in this situation, although James Saxon has been a proven guy from the tailback slot. That's who they'll go to here.
Hardy rolling the dice right now on 4th and 1 with an 18-point lead. Saxon gets submarine. Let's see if he got enough. You think he got it, Jimmy?
Going to be awfully close to it. He's right on the marker.
Green Bay went down, and Bob Nelson and Blaze Winter just tipped him up by the ankles, but if they pushed him through and over enough, he might have gotten the first down. They'll call in the sticks for measurement. They did not go to Nick Lowry. Instead, they went on 4th down.
And it would have given them a 21-point lead had they been successful with the field goal, forcing Green Bay, of course, to get at least 3 touchdowns to tie this football game up. So it was a big gamble by the Chiefs.
Here's the measurement. First down, Kansas City.
And a gamble that paid off. Now, again, Okoye not in the football game. Saxon, the tailback, number 21, going over the top. What's the submarine action from underneath?
Scott Stephen, 54, laid a shoulder on him and tipped him up over the top.
Once again, they go away from Harris. The submarine action from inside. Good penetration by Scott Stephen and nearly prevented Saxon from getting the first down, but he picks it up by half a football.
They have used 5.5 minutes off the clock here in the third quarter. Okoye back into the lineup, and Green Bay stops him as he runs left this time. Brian Noble is there, along with Tim Harris and Mark Murphy. Those 3 combine on the tackle of Okoye, and it usually takes 3 to bring him down. 6 minutes gone now off the clock here in the third quarter.
Tim Harris, number 97, a nice block by Jonathan Hayes, number 85, to try to keep him away from it. He's just about too much man for one person to block, but today, again, playing on the gimpy ankle, he's not been much of a factor for the Packers.
Second down and 9. Okoye only got 1 on first down. 2 wide receivers for the Chiefs. Okoye to carry. Big hole up the middle. Fumble. Loose ball. Packers have it. Comes up with the fumble recovery, and that's exactly what Green Bay needed.
The Packers pull the 2 onside guards. Here they come around. Gives them a big hole for Okoye. Let's see who pops it out. Johnny Holland from the backside, and coming up in front, Chuck Cecil with the headgear right on the football, and the Pack make the big turnover. They can get back in this football game.
Astronomers tell us there won't be a total eclipse in America until the year 2017.
Christian Okoye's fumble down deep in Green Bay territory, scooped up by Mike Wennington, gives the ball to the Magic Man, and Majkowski's Packers down by 18 with 8:34 to go. Third quarter start at their own 15. Play action fake to forward. Sack. Majkowski goes down. Neil Smith is there. And Danny Saliamua, the nose tackle there too. And Smith, who already has a fumble recovery today, is having a ball game.
Well, Smith and Derek Thomas are the best of friends, and they have a bit of competition as to who's going to get to the quarterback first. Well, today it's been Neil Smith putting all the pressure on. First he had the forced fumble of Majkowski. Now he beats the offensive lineman. That's actually West, the tight end, to the inside. And these Packers just can't seem to get untracked.
Neil Smith, third sack of the day of Majkowski. A loss of 8, second down and 18, and deep in their own territory now. And Neil Smith's in the middle of it once again, along with Leonard Griffin. So the Kansas City front three, you hear so much about the linebacker Thomas, but the front three's doing the job now. Here's Majkowski throwing, and the right hand of Leonard Griffin goes up and bats it away.
And the tough thing is they're only rushing 3 people on that play, which takes away the entire field of vision for Majkowski. If they can get that kind of pressure with just 3 people rushing, Majkowski's in real trouble.
Well, what do you do on 3rd and 18 against a great secondary now? In the end zone, gets out. Fires. Aubrey Matthews makes the catch. Out over the 20 to the 21-yard line, but they are well shy of the first down by 5 yards. As Kansas City really would give them something, a play like that, but they would not give them enough to get the first down.
Still an important play for Majkowski because he got him out of the deep hole.
Minnesota ups their lead over Atlanta. The Lions still lead by 7, and Seattle takes the lead over Cincinnati. Houston by 10. Buffalo has come back to tie New Orleans. And Philadelphia ups their lead over Dallas. 21-3 here, and the Packers cannot convert on a Kansas City fumble. Don Bracken's first good punt of the day. Manley takes it back to his 30. And he comes up to the 39-yard line, and that's where Kansas City will start. 7:09 left to go. And now a penalty is being called. There's a flag over by the Kansas City bench. Marty Schottenheimer is out on the field. And he's going after Stan Petrie. Let's see if Petrie got tangled up with somebody and maybe he had the flag called. Marty Schottenheimer is out on the field. And he's going after Stan Petrie. Let's see if Petrie got tangled up with somebody and maybe he had the flag called on him. Here's Jim Tunney. Personal foul called against Kansas City, and I think it's going to be on Stan Petrie. I couldn't hear Jim Tunney. Here he is.
Personal foul after the whistle. Number 45, 15 yards. Italy 1st and 10.
All right, they're over there telling Petrie to settle down now. And we'll settle down too and step away with 7:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-3 Chiefs.
The world thirsts.
7 days a week, anywhere in the USA.
Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cefalo with 7:09 left to go here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. And Kansas City's Chiefs lead over the Green Bay Packers 21-3. Steve DeBerg has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Christian Okoye rushed for 1. All the scoring in the first half. Kansas City with the ball now. 1st and 10. Fed to Okoye. Dumped off to Saxon. And James Saxon wheels over the 30 out to the 31-yard line. Up close to a first down. A good first down play. Here's Saxon heading back to the huddle. 6:50 remaining. Next weekend, plenty of NFL football action here on NBC. Join us on Saturday now. That's Saturday for a special edition beginning with NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time. Then the AFC Western Division champion Denver Broncos heading to the Valley of the Sun. They take on Phoenix. Sunday, a doubleheader. Most of you will see Houston at Cincinnati. In the second half of our doubleheader, Buffalo takes on San Francisco as we come down the wire. It's all here on NBC next week. And Christian Okoye out over the 35-yard line to the 36. He'll have a Kansas City first down, and they are doing exactly what you have to do when you have a lead like this. Run the football. They passed the football in the first half, and now they're running it well.
Well, the reason that turnover was so important to the Packers deep inside their own territory, in that stage, if Kansas City gets on the board, the game in all essence is over. I mean, you can say as much as you want about the Pack's ability to come back, but if you're going to be down by a total of 25 points with 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, you're in real trouble. They've got to get back in it, get a turnover on this side of the 50-yard line.
DeBerg gives it quickly to James Saxon, and once again, some fine ball handling by DeBerg, and Saxon takes it out to the 40-yard line. Marty Schottenheimer beamed when we talked about James Saxon last night because, well, when you're the other running back in this set and in this backfield, guys like Herman Hurd and James Saxon, you don't get heard about that much, but Saxon has been an explosive back for them.
He likes him on short yardage and goal line when he doesn't give the ball to Okoye, and he also likes him as a receiver out of the backfield. Talk about coaches of the year. We've got two gentlemen here who are real candidates, and Lindy Fonzie and Marty Schottenheimer.
Jack Marty said he thinks that Lindy should be the coach of the year in the NFL. Second down now. Bird rolling out. Tim Harris right on him. But he hangs in there, and look at Jonathan Hayes hang in after the catch. Inside the Packer 45-yard line down to the 42. Jonathan Hayes and DeBerg connect on that play. They've been a good combination all day long.
Well, it's about the same play they ran before. Only there, right here is Hayes this time. He does the little fake blocking and then gets into the secondaries. DeBerg does the great play action fake. They just thought, hey, it worked the last time to one side. We'll try it again this way. Look at him. Look at Hayes running past the entire linebacking crew as they take on the running attack they think is happening. He breaks one tackle and gets back into Packer territory.
17 yards on the play. Jonathan Hayes, I really believe that he's banged up on the first hit because he got stung there, and then he still stayed upright and was able to run. As he explains to the trainers what's not feeling so good. Okoye now will run. And he gets out of a Scott Stevens tackle, then runs over into the Chiefs bench. All right, let's go to an NFL Live update, and here's Bob Costas.
Great guy. After trailing 10-0 at one point, Seattle has come back, and they've taken the lead at Cincinnati, courtesy of this 60-yarder to Brian Blades from David Craig. After he makes the catch, he goes untouched into the end zone. Seattle leading 17-10. Back to Green Bay we go.
Thanks, Bob. 21-3 here in Green Bay. Kansas City playing a great game for a road team coming into Lambeau Field, and Lindy and Fonte looking down, looking for some answers, but they've got to get the ball back. DeBerg firing. Snip on Page had it. He fumbles. And Tim Harris picks it up for Green Bay. And for the second possession in a row, the Chiefs are driving, but they fumble.
This time they give their offense better field position, however. Take a look at it. Page just runs a little out curl pattern, and the hit comes from the inside. It looks like Dave Brown, 32, who causes it. Harris hops on top of it. To give the Pack better field position, they go at it at their own 43-yard line. Nice pattern by Page. He runs it off Holland, gets the open position, finds it. Then in his effort to try to get some more extra yardage, it's the hit by Dave Brown that causes it.
4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go, third quarter. Now, the Chiefs fumbled their first time, and that was recovered by Mike Weddington. This time, Harris picks it up. But I believe they are taking a look right now. Bill Fetty in the replay booth taking a look at whether Page had possession.
It seemed like it was a clean catch from this angle. He seemed to be struggling to get some more yardage from at least our vantage point.
Haven't had much business for him.
Play clock at 23 seconds. 23 on the play clock, please.
But I still think they're taking a look at the play. Here's the replay booth here at Lambeau Field. 21-3, Kansas City in the lead. But as Jimmy said, after this fumble
Upon
recovery...
review, the play stands. First down.
All right, they did take a look at the play. They have reset the play clock to 23, but they were taking a look at the play, and it stands as a fumble. Recovered by Green Bay, but now, as Jimmy said, they have good field position. Let's see if they can do something with it. Harry Kemp starts in motion. Majkowski for Kemp. Overthrown. And one of the reasons why he had to really arc that ball up there was because Derek Thomas was coming after Majkowski.
Yeah, but this is nothing but a poor throw in his part. When you see how wide open he is, it's really unbelievable. Here comes Thomas down the line of scrimmage. West, number 89, trying to block him. And he gets it off, but there was such a wide open receiver coming across the middle that when Majkowski goes back and takes a look at this, he's going to really be upset.
Majkowski's playing with very sore ribs.
Take a look at Kemp coming across the field. Wide open is Kemp. And that would have been a big game, maybe the one that changes the fortunes of the pack. Majkowski unable to deliver.
Boy, if I saw him coming after me, I'd unload it quickly, too. Majkowski sets up, this time throws, he's got Ed West. The tight end who's been out of the lineup for a couple of weeks is back in there and makes the catch. There's a flag down in the Green Bay backfield. This one's coming back. I think we have holding against Kansas City. Against Green Bay, rather. Excuse me.
Holding 75. Still second down.
Take a look at Thomas. He's the one who gets the whole Rutgers 75 going against them. And that's that takedown move again. There's no question about that. Good call by the officials. And that takes away the big play on the part of Majkowski in the offense. It was a zone coverage. Majkowski found the seam with Ed West down the middle of the field. And for the second time in as many plays, two mistakes. One by Majkowski misfiring, and the second by the holding call against Rutgers was taking the ball out of the hands of the Packers.
Second down at 20. He's in trouble again. Falling down this time, he unloads it, and it was in front of Aubrey Matthews. But once again, that Kansas City pressure is forcing him to get out of there and throw the ball quicker than he wants to. Sally Amua was the guy that was with the big push up the middle.
Sally Amua, 97, is playing for the injured Bill Moss, and he has replaced him, and no one has thought any of the poorer. Now, Majkowski just falls down on that play. But Sally Amua has played as well as Bill Moss, and Bill Moss is a perennial All-Pro in this league. They really haven't missed much.
Third down and 20. 4 wide receivers in for the Packers. Majkowski looking for Sterling Sharp. And it's incomplete. Once again, great double coverage. Ross and Deron Cherry are down there stride for stride with Sterling Sharp.
This is an unusual defense. Take a look at it. Look at this. They're 10 men at the line of scrimmage. Majkowski, there's only one guy back here. That's Deron Cherry. Majkowski thinks it's going to be a man-to-man coverage, but Cherry helps out. Watch him going to the side, and there's no room to try to fit it into the receiver on that side of the field.
So on fourth down, Don Brackett is into punt. And 2 Kansas City fumbles cannot be converted by Green Bay. Takes a Green Bay roll inside the 30 down to about the 26-yard line, and that's where Kansas City will start. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left to go. It's been a Kansas City afternoon here in Green Bay so far.
Used to be if you wanted a keg of beer at your party, you were...
Championship Monday College Bowl lineup, the Hall of Fame Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl. All coming up. Championship Monday right here on NBC. Here's Christian Okoye and the Kansas City Chiefs running on first down, and Okoye is up there on first down as he gets up over the 35-yard line, up near the 36, chased out by Dave Brown and by Brian Noble. As Okoye is starting to get big numbers now here in the second half.
On Harris's side, take a look at just how effortless it seems Okoye runs. He gets a good block on the corner by Manley, but that's a 260-pound man who glides around the end.
First and 10 now for Kansas City. They are 6-1, unbeaten in their last 3. Win today puts them over the 500 mark. A loss today by Lindy puts the Packers in real trouble in the NFC Central Division, with Minnesota winning, as you note on our 10-minute ticket. They came in tied at 8-5 into Week 14. On first down, Okoye out near the 39. Well, there you see Minnesota came in at 8-5, but well on their way to going 9-5. Detroit, a Barry Sanders touchdown run has ballooned that lead to 24-10. Seattle, in a surprise, leading Cincinnati. The New Orleans-Buffalo game now tied 19-19 in the third. In our other early games, Washington has come back from 14-0 down to take the lead, and Philadelphia leads over Dallas 20-10 in the third. Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs leading over Green Bay 21-3 with 2:18 left, third quarter. Second down, DeBerg looking. He had two men wide open. Page had it, fumbled again, and went out of bounds, but it's Kansas City ball. He had Pete Manley and Stephon Page open in the same spot. They were both wide open.
It was just a two-man pattern. That's all he had. Take a look at it. Manley's over here. He comes in and goes back out to the corner. Page comes across. The great fake, and DeBerg really has two people wide open, but they're in the same portion of the field. There you see Manley going in and back out, Page underneath. They really should not be that close together. A mistake by one of the two wide receivers. And then Page with his second fumble of the afternoon. This time he's fortunate because it bounces out of bounds.
There it is. Brown once again forced the fumble. He forced the other one, too. First down. McCoy for a short gain. Blaze Winter makes the one-on-one stop. You know, they say when you do tackle Okoye, the best way is to try and get him down by the ankles. You hit him high and he'll bounce right off of you, and we've seen that happen a number of times.
He has huge thighs and a big upper body. It's tough to get a shot at him. You either have to gang tackle him or hit him low. And, of course, when you hit him low, he's good for a yard or two.
Well, look at what they've done to the clock now, Jimmy. We're under 2 minutes left. A minute 40 remaining here in the third quarter. And they haven't lost a bit of their lead, and they've fumbled twice. James Saxon cannot make the catch and pays for it, too, as Mark Murphy comes up and distributes a hit on him.
Now, the Packers, we mentioned it early, Hank Fuller, the defensive coordinator, plays a bit of a conservative defense in that he doesn't blitz many people. At this stage of the football game, a minute 30 left in the third quarter, they've got to start mixing it up. They've got to try to get after DeBerg, make something happen to the backfield, or this team is just going to fade away.
Well, there's Hank looking over the defensive charts, well bundled up here today at Lambeau Field. Big play now, once again, for the Packer defense. Third down. Shoots out of the shotgun. 3rd and 9. DeBerg got hit as he threw. And he overthrows a wide-open Stephon Page. We have a flag down where DeBerg was throwing the ball back in the pocket. And it's going against Kansas City. Is it tripping?
Yeah, it's a tripping call.
And that's 2 minutes and a man advantage now for Green. Oh, that's hockey. Sorry.
High checking, too, as well.
Tripping. 72 offense. A decline. It'll be fourth down.
That's David Lutz. So they'll decline the penalty to get the ball back now and force Goodburn to punt it away. Jeff Cleary is the deep back for Green Bay, back at his 12. Cleary takes it at the 8. Boy, he did a good job. Then he fumbled the ball, and Green Bay hops right on it. They say that Cleary was down. They're going to say Cleary was down. But he ran a long way to actually get about 4 yards on the return.
I'll make it a bit of a gamble, but, you know, under these circumstances, they got to make something happen.
Well, they're still fighting for the ball down there. There's Cleary getting up. Next weekend, plenty of NFL action here on NBC. Join us starting on Saturday for a special edition beginning with NFL Live, 3:30 Eastern Time. Then the AFC Western Division champs, the Broncos, head into Phoenix to take on the Cardinals. Sunday, full doubleheader day. In Game 1, many of you see Houston at Cincinnati in that big AFC Central Division game from the jungle. And in the second part of the doubleheader, most of you will see Buffalo take on the defending Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. Check your local listings for the games in your area. O.J. Simpson will spend the week with Eddie DeBartolo of the San Francisco 49ers and have a feature next week. Now, Majkowski fumbles the snap, and everything is going wrong for this Packer offense as they are down now at the 10-yard line. They'll lose a yard or two.
Well, remember, Majkowski's working with a different center today. Blair Bush is the normal center. He's out with an injury. James Campen, number 63, getting his first start in 2 years, is the center. There's Campen.
Second down at 12. They lose 2 back to their own 10. Under a minute to go, third quarter. No scoring so far here in the quarter. Green Bay's recovered 2 fumbles, but have not been able to move the ball. second down and 12. And they've also had 3 poor field positions. No one to throw to. And a sack. Danny Saliamua. And the Saliamua sack dance.
He needs to work on that for a little while, but once again, it's Kansas City getting the pressure on Majkowski with just 3 or 4 people up front. Saliamua, middle of your screen. They got the stunt going. He loops around to the left side. But with 4 people rushing the quarterback, they get to Majkowski, and that's what the pack has to eliminate. Right now, Kansas City's dropping everybody back into coverage and forcing him to pick a hole.
4 sacks for 25 yards in losses for Majkowski and the Packers. 5 seconds to go here in the third quarter, 3rd and 15. Aubrey Matthews, but nowhere after he makes the catch as Lloyd Burris is right there. And that ends a dismal and frustrating third quarter for Don Majkowski and the Green Bay Packers. And the fans here at Lambeau Field are a little restless. So we'll see if the Packers can pull off a miracle finish, but so far it's been all Chiefs.
My poor brother Tom, every time he tried to see what he was missing, he would...
And Jimmy Cefalo in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, where Kansas City leads 21-3, and the Packers are punting from deep in their own end zone. Don Bracken, another less than spectacular punt. And the crowd is upset with the Packers play, and Bracken's punting. Listen.
I find that incredible. I mean, they pulled Majkowski coming off the field just prior to the end of the third quarter. They're booing Bracken now. This is incredible. I mean, this is a team that little was expected of this year. They're 8-5. They got a shot at the playoffs, and there's not been a lot of magic in this city, football-wise, in a long time. How can they possibly boo Bracken and Majkowski and Infante? It's just deplorable here at Lambeau Field.
Kansas City has the ball at the midfield stripe, 50-yard line. They are 15 minutes away from a very big road victory if they can hang on. There goes Okoye. Boy, he gets by that last tackler there, Jimmy, and he is gone. Brian Noble brings him down as Okoye was almost gone. Let's check the scoreboard now. With 14.5 minutes to go. Minnesota will take over first place in the NFC Central by themselves if these results hold up. Houston leading by 10. Pittsburgh's up their lead on a Gary Anderson field goal, 10-0. Troy Aikman for a touchdown pass in the Dallas game. 20-10 there. 21-3 here, though. Second down and 3 as Okoye had 7 on that play. Herman Hurd. Oh, boy, they are finding some big holes now. Down to the 32 of Green Bay and a first down.
This is a big offensive line that really is starting to wear on the secondary. Take a look at it. Here's a look at the line play. Now you have Webster here. You've got Baldinger here. You've got Alt on the other side. And they're just blowing the holes out of this entire defensive line. Take a look at it. Just nothing but daylight for Herman Hurd up the middle of the gut. That's a big offensive line. You have Lutz is 6'6", 303. Alt is 6'7", 300 pounds. Starting to wear thin against the Packers.
11 yards on the carry by Herman Hurd. And a first down for Kansas City. This time it's James Saxon. He fumbles the football, and the Packers have it. Boy, Kansas City can't put this thing away, can they? I mean, they have now fumbled 3 times here in the second half.
I'll tell you the problem with the Packers. They've had 3 fumbles, all on the wrong side of the 50-yard line as far as the pack is concerned. Let's take a look at it. Saxon with a quick trap up the middle.
Brian Noble knocks the ball away.
From the backside, knocks it away, and once again, we'll have to find out what the pack does. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight's Sheep
Radio Network booth. There's Lenny Dawson, the ex-Chief quarterback who played in Super Bowl I, then came back and led the Chiefs to a Super Bowl victory. There he is right there. Now a analyst with the Chiefs broadcasting team, and Max McGee. There he is on the left. who had the great Super Bowl I, right?
That's right, a couple of touchdowns. He didn't even think he was going to play that afternoon. He was actually shocked when Lombardi said, "Hey, McGee, you're in."
1st and 10. Green Bay has picked up another fumble, but now they need a lot of points. Fullwood, with some daylight, runs for a first down out over the Green Bay 35 up near the 39-yard line, and a first down for the Packers. And those have been tough to come by here this afternoon, and especially here in the second half.
Well, you have the Chiefs thinking pass, and that allows Fullwood to get up inside for a good gain. But, you know, they're going to have to get that passing attack going this afternoon with the final 12.5 minutes of this contest if they're going to win this football game.
21-3 the score. Lindy and Fonte looking down on that play chart right now. Majkowski's had a tough day throwing the football. He is 7 for 18 for 63 yards. This is a guy who's thrown for well over 3,000 on the season. He has to sidearm one and does over the head of Woodside because once again he was getting pressure in that pocket.
Well, they only have 3 men in the pattern, and that is part of the problem for Majkowski. They get pressure, so they've kept a lot of people in to try to block, try to protect, especially against this man. That 75 Rutgers going against Derek Thomas does a good job of it, but from the other side, it's Smith. Again, he's been the defensive star so far for the Chiefs, putting a lot of pressure on Majkowski.
2nd and 10 for Green Bay, 12:23 on the game clock. 4 wide receivers in for the Packers. Fullwood the lone back. The Chiefs are blitzing, and the hot receiver cannot come up with the catch. It was Jeff Query who could not come up with the ball at the 45-yard line. Boy, whoa, there were a lot of white jerseys coming after Majkowski in this play.
When you talk about the hot receivers, see, you got 10 people here. That means the receivers, the hot receivers, have to make that quick adjustment, the quick break. Take a look at it. Everybody's blitzing, but there's not a lot of room, not a lot of time for Majkowski, and he just can't fit it into the wide receiver. Good defense by the Chiefs.
3rd down. Green Bay 2 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Looking at 3rd down and 10. And again, he has to get rid of the ball, and again they knock it down. Derek Thomas and Deron Cherry. And again, the boos. And how quickly they forget the many come-from-behind victories.
Cherry comes right up the gut. Again, it's that 10-man line. Here is Cherry. He makes the gut right there, and Majkowski has nowhere to go with the football. Right up the gut. That allows the man from the outside to try and help on it. And Walker Lee Ashley gets a hand on the football, and the Chiefs are really playing a great defensive game. But that's nothing new to this team. They gave up 1 touchdown during the month of November, and they've continued their ability on defense in December.
6 punts and a 37-yard average for Bracken today. Asworthen makes the catch. And it's finally brought down out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. Did I detect a bit of a sarcastic cheer towards Bracken on that punt?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of the Bronx cheer. Bracken having a rough day for the last couple of weeks. And his club the same. They're down 21-3.
Hey, hustlers, I got some more party time tips for you.
Game today.
The New Orleans Buffalo score is important, too, in that AFC East race. They could lock it up with 2 of the wins in the last 3 weeks, and they seem to be having a tough time with the Saints.
Kansas City has been in control since the 2nd quarter of this game. As Christian Okoye keeps the clock rolling, too. He stays in bounds, going over by his own bench. Scott Stephen is over there with Dave Brown on the tackle. Tonight on NBC, a special presentation of the fact-based drama about the life of NBA star Isaiah Thomas. All Free Woodard stars in A Mother's Courage, the Mary Thomas story. Then it's the new NBC comedy, Ann Jillian, followed by Sister Kate. And don't miss NBC Sunday Night at the Movies. George Peppard stars in the world premiere of Man Against the Mob, The Chinatown Murders. That's tonight, only on NBC. Christian Okoye has now gained for 100 yards rushing today. He had 148 last week. And he's got about 101 now as he gets a tough yard there.
Yeah, but finally, these Packers are starting to try to gamble on defense. I mean, throughout the afternoon, they played back doing the zone. Now here, finally, they blitz a quarterback from the outside. He gets to Okoye early and really stopped him from getting the first down. Big play by the Pack. They've got to do that for the remainder of the contest and try to give their offense a little bit of field position.
4th down now. Kansas City huddling up special teams-wise over on their sideline. Lindy and Fonte trying to get something to get the Packers going here with 9:55 left. Now, Kansas City huddled up on the sideline and then comes running right out onto the field. So the Packers had to wait to see if they were going to punt. Goodburn gets it away. Jeff Cleary makes the catch and is immediately brought down. Andy Copeland is down on the tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. 9:41 left to go. Copeland and the Chiefs riding an 18-point lead here in Green Bay.
They predicted a gloomy year for everyone.
That's what's left for the Packers. Chicago 6-7. The Bears about to go to 6-8. And at Dallas 1-12. And 9:41 left here, and they're down by 18. And Majkowski's looking long for Aubrey Matthews, and J.C. Pearson is on the coverage. And perfect coverage it was. Now, Kansas City ready to go to 7-6-1 with a win here today. They have 2 games left. They're at home next week against San Diego and then at Miami. Now, they played Miami last week at home and won, but they'll finish at Miami.
And that could be a good football game for both teams. They might both be in the hunt for a wild card position. These Chiefs have to continue to win, and so will the Dolphins, in order to make that game a meaningful one on Christmas Eve in Miami.
Just amazing numbers for Majkowski today. Amazingly low. Throwing on the run. Almost intercepted by Lloyd Barnes. He had it and couldn't pull it down. And Lloyd Barnes, who's been fighting for playing time this year after being injured earlier in the season, winces at this one.
And wins he should. He had this one put away. They have really gotten the Chiefs a little bit, or excuse me, the Packers a little bit frightened with it right now. Majkowski is not looking like the confident quarterback he has been in the past few weeks. The Chiefs mixing it up, and as you see, Burris with a golden opportunity to steal this one away from the Chiefs. He fumbles it away.
And it sets up 3rd and 10. 9.5 left. The game fell apart on Green Bay in the second quarter as Majkowski throws. This one trying to get it to Sterling Sharp, and once again the Chiefs are there, and this time it was the linebacker Derek Thomas who was there. So Thomas can rush the quarterback, and he can drop back in coverage too.
Well, they've got Thomas coming from one side, they've got Neil Smith coming from the other, and now they send the quarterback. That's Albert Lewis, 29, going in as well. And when you can put that much pressure on a quarterback, there's not a lot of room for him to find a hole.
Well, Don Bracken will punt, standing inside his 5. He had 9 punts last week. This will be his 8th of the afternoon now. Asworthen still going to the 45-yard line. He kind of got hidden there, didn't he? And all of a sudden he came out of the pack with it.
Great job hanging onto the football initially. Watch the first wave come down, and a gutsy decision by Worthen not to go to the fair catch, especially this late in the football game with the lead. He gets a block right at the top. It looked like Petrie who came across.
Almost lost the ball right there.
Yeah, then hangs on to it and keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. Knows where the big guys are. Hackett gets a block.
And Herman Fontenot brought him down. So at the 45-yard line, Asworthen all excited. He wasn't returning punts earlier in the game. He was before this game, but then Pete Manley was handling the punt returning duties earlier in the game. Okoye already over 100 yards in the day. Turns and falls forward inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Ken Stills brings him down.
By all rights, he should have lost 2 yards on that play. There's no way he gets back to the line of scrimmage when you take a look at the play, but somehow, some way, he gets his feet going upfield and gets the power moving, gets enough for at least to get back to the line of scrimmage. Look at it. He gets pressure from the outside from Brown. Then Harris gets a hand on it. And then finally, a defensive back has to come up. That's Kenny Stills, who finally gets a shoulder into him and knocks him down. But not before he gets back here and gets a yard gain on it.
3 wide receivers in the game now for Kansas City. Second down. 9. The bird throws. Todd McNair scooped it up. The crowd saying that it was a trap. The officials ruled that he made the catch at the 36-yard line. And on that one, it's time to head to the parking lot.
I tell you what, it's still the conservative note that this Packer defense is playing. There's so much room over here on the corner from McNair. Look where the nearest defensive back is. It's a good 9 yards away before you find Mark Murphy over on top of him. And right now, under the circumstances, the only way he could possibly get back into the football game is to play some kind of a gambling defense.
I think they're going to take a look at that catch, Jimmy. I don't know.
He tried to scoop it up. He maybe got away with it. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, while you were talking there, I was looking at it and saying, you know what, that's very, very close. I mean, his hands had to be right down on the turf to pull that one in or pull it up. Here's McNair. He's been a very good surprise for them, being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. And on third down, he really is a Herman Fontenot. What Herman Fontenot is to the Packers, that's what McNair is to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, he came out of Temple, and they actually cut him earlier in the season, right at the last cut down, but they were able to get him back. No one picked him up, and he's been a real find for the Chiefs.
The play stands. Completed catch. Third down.
Well, the catch is good. They say his hands were under the ball. And McNair, as the crowd booed on it, he's raising his arms in victory. Ball at the 36. Third down and 1. Okoye. He's short. Needed to get inside the 35-yard line. The Packers almost jumped offside on the play as Brian Noble was running up to the line of scrimmage. And it's fourth down now and a yard to go. And the clock ticking down.
Now, this is a tough call for Marty Schottenheimer. I don't think you go for the field goal here. I mean, you've got fourth and less than a yard to go. Against the wind, you'd have to put Lowry in a position to kick a very long field goal or try to get your punter to kick it out of bounds. Good call by Schottenheimer.
Well, on fourth down, Okoye had tough footing, but he fights that off, and look at him go. Inside the Packer 25-yard line. Jimmy, when he took that handoff, he was in some real slippery stuff in that backfield. He almost lost his footing.
Again, there's no way he should not have been thrown for a loss in the backfield. Take a look at it. Good penetration by the Packers. You got Holland up there in the middle of it. And Blaze Winter, number 68, and then you get a hit from the outside, but you can't tackle this guy up around the thighs. Kent Stills tries at 29, and if not for Mark Murphy, then it's a touchdown for the Chiefs.
On fourth and 1, Okoye ends up with 12. 113 on the day. Now with 6:20 remaining. Herman Hurd is in motion. He was out wide. And Okoye barrels up the middle again. He'll get 5 more down to the 20-yard line. And let's go back to the scoreboard now. All these games still in the fourth quarter. Minnesota really laying it on Atlanta. Chicago's gotten a touchdown, but still trails by 10. And Cincinnati's tied that game up now. 17-17 in the fourth. Houston by a field goal. Tampa Bay's come back on them. New Orleans and Buffalo tied up in Buffalo. San Diego leading over Washington again. That's been a back-and-forth game. And Philadelphia beating Dallas. And here in Green Bay, it's 21-3 Chiefs. As the Chiefs threaten to stop the Packers' 3-game winning streak. Christian Okoye looking for the room, turns and gets down inside the 20. And he's at the 16-yard line. Brought down by Brian Noble.
This is a defensive strategy that I have trouble with. I mean, the Packers, when they were down, they've been down by 18 points the entire second half. They've not done any blitzing whatsoever, not gotten up into the gaps to try to stop the running attack. They've sat back in their zone on third down situations. And look, when your offense is struggling, you've got to try to make a spark with your defense. Yes, they created a couple of turnovers, but they were all on the wrong end of the field and weren't able to capitalize on it.
4:48 left, third down and 2. Jackson and Okoye and his movement on the right side and up the middle, too.
17. Well, 5 yards for first down.
And DeBerg looks around. He says, it's a me.
Well, sometimes they call you for the head bob. Yeah, he starts to lean a little bit. Take a look at it. Just a little bit of a lean. Not much. That's a tough call. Sometimes they'll call a quarterback for a head bob. You know, they'll mark out a big call and bob his head, and that'll draw defense off. But I kind of agree with Steve DeBerg. He didn't move very much.
Boy, what a day. 15 for 18, 2 touchdown passes, over 200 yards passing. And he's going for it, and he's going to stay there, too, starting quarterback.
In the last 3 games, he's now thrown 5 touchdowns, just 1 interception. And he's really sparked this team along.
And that interception last week against Miami was just a great play by the Miami secondary. It was a well-thrown ball, but they were all batting away at it, and on a crazy deflection, they ended up. No, I don't think, I tell you what, I don't think they have enough players on the field.
Let's count them.
I think they have 10.
5, 6, 7, 8. You're right. They've got 10 football players.
And they were looking for a wide receiver, and it was Manley who didn't have his helmet.
Celebrating a bit too early, huh?
We'll be back to Green Bay. It's not over yet. Just about, though.
They predicted a
Green Bay.
All right, thanks, Bob. 4:44 left to go.
There was just 10 men on the field. Take a look at it. 5 offensive linemen, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here's DeBerg over here saying, hey, guys, that's number 10. I need somebody else. I want another wide receiver out here.
Well, they were yelling for Pete Manley, who was way off on the far side of the Kansas City bench. And they yelled for him to get on the field. He couldn't find his helmet. Finally reached down and ran back out on the field, but it was too late. They had to call a timeout. There's Manley.
Well, he'll take some abuse for that on Monday and Tuesday.
So it's 3rd down now, 3rd and 6. At the 21-yard line. For Green Bay, Herman Hurd was in motion. They go back to the foyer. And he goes inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. And they'll come up 4th down now. And Nick Lowry will attempt a field goal as he races onto the field. Lowry on the season, 20 for 28.
He had his string of 197 consecutive PATs broken last week when he missed one against the Dolphins.
DeBerg also holds for him now. And the spot coming back at the 24-yard line, making a 34-yard field goal attempt. He's 8 out of 11. And the distance 30 and 39 yards in between that mark. Lowry misses, and he misses badly, too. I'll tell you what, since the Cleveland game a couple of weeks ago when he missed those 3 kicks, all of which could have given Kansas City a win against the Browns, instead they settled for a 10-10 tie. He has not been the same kicker.
Well, the mental aspect is so important for a kicker, and Lowry's confidence, although he's been one of the best kickers in as far as accuracy is concerned in the NFL, the history of the NFL, he's allowed that game, it seems, to bother him.
But I'll tell you what, coming down the wire now, when you have to win games, I mean, you're not always going to win 21-3 in blowout fashion. You really want to have him more confident than he is right now.
Well, it makes it even more surprising for the Chiefs. They've won and done it really with Lowry not being the kind of kicker he's been in the past.
So with 3:55 left, Majkowski throwing, and Michael Haddix makes the catch, but they say he was out of bounds, and so it goes as an incompleted pass. Again, we go to the NFL scoreboard. 43-17, Minnesota over Atlanta in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati tied 17-17. Yeah. 20-17 over Houston as they lead at the Astrodome. 13-0 Pittsburgh over the Jets. And those 4th quarter scores. Here's Majkowski back. Steps up, fires. And it's caught. Bland makes the catch for the Packers out over the 30-yard line to the 32. That's a Green Bay 1st down.
Now they're in their 2-minute offense, and really with 3:33 left, it seems a little bit late to get into this thing, but that's their only opportunity this afternoon.
Out of the shotgun with 2 backs in the backfield. Majkowski again, and he connects this time with Perry Kemp, who is ripped out of bounds by Stan Petrie. And at the 41-yard line now, Green Bay gets some more yardage on 2 in a row by Majkowski. There haven't been too many times this afternoon that he's been able to complete 2 in a row.
Well, we met him yesterday when he walked into the room. He really didn't seem like an NFL quarterback. I mean,
no, it didn't, no.
He looks like a linebacker, maybe a fullback kind of a guy. You know, he's got a big bulk to him, had a big leather jacket on, the long hair coming out. But he's a
Batman.
A pleasant man and a very good quarterback. He's got a great future in this state.
Which went nicely with the Robin outfit that you were wearing. Here's Majkowski back on 2nd and 3. He fires, and it is picked off. Lloyd Burris, who almost had an interception the last time Kansas City was out on defense, gets it this time.
Once again, he had a wide open wide receiver downfield. I think it was Sharp coming downfield. Let's take a look at it. I think this is Sharp here, right in this area. They've got a zone coverage. Everybody dropping deep into coverage. And take a look at what happens. Majkowski has a wide open Sterling Sharp down the field and overthrows him by a good 5 yards. And Majkowski seemed rattled by the pressure that the Chiefs have displayed all day, and today just was not the young man's afternoon.
So Infante and Majkowski talk it over on the sideline. They have had some great, thrilling afternoons this season, but today was not their day on their final home game of the regular season, and they'll finish away from home now at Chicago and at Dallas. And they'll need a lot of help now to make it into the playoff field. A few more yards onto his total for the day, out to the 37-yard line. As for Kansas City, back home next week, San Diego, and then at Miami, a team that they have already beaten on the season. And I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I firmly believe if Marty Schottenheimer had this defense that he has in Kansas City with him, when he and Lindy Infante were with the Cleveland Browns, they would have gone to 2 Super Bowls, or at least 1, because this is really something to watch. And it was Denver's ability in those conference championship games to move up and down the field on the Browns defense that kept Cleveland out of the Super Bowl twice.
Well, you know, when Schottenheimer left Cleveland last year, there were a couple of jobs open. One in San Diego, of course, the job open in Kansas City, and the one in Dallas. And when he had his choice between San Diego and Kansas City, he looked at the personnel on the teams and said, no, I want Kansas City, because they have got a great potential to be a team quickly, and that's exactly what has happened.
Well, the defense, especially that secondary, was well in place. And then the other key thing was that he was really able to bring most of his Cleveland staff with him, which is different from Infante now when he went to Green Bay. But with 2 minutes left to go, we'll come back and talk more about the Chiefs on what has been a real glorious day for them here in Green Bay. We'll be right back. It's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is quarterback Steve DeBerg from the Kansas City Chiefs. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. And don't forget, coming up after the game, the Budweiser NFL report. All the scores and highlights. Steve DeBerg, though, our Budweiser MVP, 15 for 19 on the day, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. Coming right in here to Lambeau Field, where they were very, very revved up for this football game, taking on a red-hot Green Bay team and thoroughly shutting them down with a big second quarter. That's when they scored all their points.
Ironically, we saw Steve DeBerg a few weeks ago at the Seattle game, I believe it was, when he had been benched in favor of Steve Ballore. He was as low as you can get. He said it was the most difficult benching of his career. And now, just a few weeks later, this probably is the high note of his 13 years in the NFL.
Just the finishing touches on this one now, and then worry about San Diego at home next week. And Okoye goes out over the 40-yard line to the 42. On 4th down, Green Bay calls timeout. And we'll be right back to Lambeau Field in Green Bay right after this timeout. The NFL Live postgame, the Budweiser NFL Report, scores and highlights with Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson. Some big games around the NFL, and this one was a big one for both of these teams, Kansas City and Green Bay. And Kansas City comes in and gets it. With a minute 53 left, they'll punt on 4th down. Kelly Goodburn stands back at his 25-yard line. That's Jeff Query back at his 21. Kansas City ready to go over the 500 mark and win their third in a row, unbeaten in their last 4. Well, Query's got good speed. He gets to the outside very fast on these punt returns and gets up to the 28-yard line. And Goodburn is down on the turf back where he punted the ball at the 30-yard line.
You know, I was watching him, and it didn't seem that anyone touched him. And he kind of gave one. It looked from our angle that he gave one of those fake jobbers, but he actually is injured on the field. Maybe someone did touch him. Let's take a look at it. Pressure coming from the inside. Does it seem like anyone touched him?
I don't know. I was wondering if he twisted his ankle.
He may have. That was the only two choices because it didn't look like anyone touched him. He either pulled a muscle, sprained an ankle, something like that. But they're looking at his knee. It just seemed that he got the award because it didn't appear from that angle that anyone touched him. And they did not. It's just that he, on his own, injured himself. It wasn't because the pack got a hand on him.
Well, the crowd chanting, "Go Pack, go!" Those that have stayed around, the hardy fans here in Green Bay. Maybe that is the final tribute that they are saying for what has been a great season here in Green Bay.
And these are the true fans. I mean, they haven't left. It's cold out here, and the game has been 21-3, but they've stayed and they're out there cheering. The ones who booed are already on their way home.
Kelly Goodburn coming off the field. Once again, we've looked at the replay a couple of times and can't see where the injury occurred as he goes over into the Chiefs bench. There's Carl Peterson. He's got the jacket on, arms folded. He just went out of our frame. The guy who has really come in and helped Marty Schottenheimer by getting him some players.
Well, he's been a winner wherever he's been. You take a look at Carl Peterson through the years.
There he is. Congratulations to the coaching staff now. Tim Harris, no sacks today. Came in with 16 and a half. Playing with a sore ankle.